Welcome back to this channel that I've been trying to do. I think it's been quite a few months. The last time I did this podcast was last year, 2021.
Dang.
But got busy with school, but here we are now. Nevertheless, I'm with another special guest. He is near and dear to my heart because I've known this guy for more than a decade.
Sure.
Like the last few guests that I have on this podcast. Met him in middle school, my 8th grade, his 7th grade. It's been a while. I never had a bad experience with this guy. He's always there for me. Dope dude.
Thank you.
I would say he's not just a close friend, but a brother. Without further ado, please welcome Abodd Wardak.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you for having me, and thanks for the kind words. I think you got it right on the mark, dude. I look at you as a brother. We've known each other since, like you said, middle school. We, oddly enough, dude, met this guy on the bus stop, right, waiting, like, who's this new kid?
Right.
And then we hit it off, me, him, my brother, and we've been friends ever since.
Yeah, at first I was kind of scared because it was four of us.
Who was the last?
The girl, Mary. Marianne, yeah.
Yes. Was she went to middle school with us?
Yeah.
She did. Okay. Yeah, she's a cool chick, but she was very quiet.
Very quiet, yeah.
So
yeah.
it almost felt like she wasn't there.
Yeah.
Is that fair to say?
I think that's fair to say, yeah.
Do you think it was our fault that we weren't as welcoming to her, or do you think... I always got shy vibes from her.
I did too.
Yeah.
When we went to Mount, she was there, right? Mount is our high school. I tried talking to her. I felt like I was forcing myself.
Yeah, I've had a couple conversations just like that. My bad, go ahead.
Yeah. But I was just going to say, if I'm forcing it, then that means maybe she doesn't want to be my friend, or she doesn't want to mess with me. So I'm like, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah. I got the same thing? Same vibes.
Same thing?
But I didn't think of it as her not wanting to be my friend, but more like maybe this is who she is. She's just quiet.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, I haven't seen her since. Wish her the best if you're listening to this, I guess. But yeah, that was a pivotal part. She was a pivotal part, even though she was
right.
Not even like related to us or whatever.
But we met in middle school, right?
Yeah, middle school.
Okay, so middle school. How did you like it?
Middle school?
Your middle school career.
Yeah, what's funny? I really liked middle school. Like, I didn't think much of it. I just had moved from regular Pittsburgh, so
like downtown.
Yeah, that close to. I live right close to Walmart. I don't know if you know where that is. Off of Loveridge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I live right there. Grew up
by the Taco Bell.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. Just in that area.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
Actually, it was behind the 7-Eleven. But long story short, like, we lived there till I was 10, and then we moved out here, and it was like a complete change of scenery, even though it was 5 minutes away. That's just before the internet, right? This is like when you leave a town, that's it. The people you knew, you no longer know.
This was
in 03.
Oh,
but for poverty people, 03, the internet was not even around. Like, we got it when Yahoo had that DSL deal.
Yeah.
You know?
03. I was still at dial-up.
That is same net zero, but it was a CDs. You get the free 10 hours every month.
I was using CompuServe.
CompuServe.
I'm not sure if you're.
I've never even heard of that. I know AOL, right?
AOL.
Net Zero,
yeah.
Netscape. I don't know if you remember that one.
That was a browser too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was like it was a blue version of the other one. But moving here, and then it was a brand new experience, and I think I really liked it because I assimilated really quickly, made a lot of friends. A bunch of random people, right? It was the first time, like I told you, the first time I met a Tongan person, and being scared a little bit, like, they were huge, and my naiveness was like, what the heck? But getting to meet them and becoming good friends with them, making friends with a bunch of different ethnicities, like, it was a melting pot. That was the one cool thing, if you remember, about Riverview.
Yeah.
Would you?
I went there. Yeah, 8th grade. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you came in you came in 8th grade, so you came in a little bit late.
A little bit lately, yeah.
How was your experience? Because you kind of, I don't even like. You came in 8th grade, you're almost out of there. You feel me? You're going into high school. Was it a weird experience coming from, like San Leandro, where you came from?
Yeah, I mean, it would have been better if I started at the beginning of 8th grade, not like
Midway.
kind of midway, yeah. Because it felt kind of weird. I had to get used to a lot of things. I had to catch up with, other stuff and work.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was still a smooth transition. Met interesting folks.
Oh, tons of interesting folks.
But I enjoyed Riverview.
That's what's up. I didn't know you did it halfway through, so that could be kind of annoying because you got like 2 more semesters, and then you're already out of there, right? You're going to high school.
Yeah.
The one good thing is a lot of people from our middle school ended up going to our high school.
To our high school, yeah.
So I guess it was sort of the beginning of the relationship building.
Right. I remember because I had 0 period in Riverview.
Mm-hmm.
It was a music class. Mr. Mars, right?
Yeah.
And he told not just me but our class. He was like, "Remember, guys." I'm like summarizing roughly.
Yeah.
He said something like, "Remember, guys, in high school, it's 4 years. It's gonna go by so quickly." And then I look back. I'm like, yeah, it flew by pretty. I mean, what do you think?
Well, isn't that funny? Like a lot of times when you're younger, you always hear older people, your parents, talk about how this time of your life is very precious and it's gonna fly by.
Right.
And when you're in that moment, you're like, I can't wait for this to be over with.
Yeah.
There's times where you're just like, just let me be an adult, let me do the college thing, let me get this over with.
Yeah.
But then now I've done that, we've done that, and it's like, gosh, if I could have just another day back in middle school or high school, just that time, the sereneness of it, right? There's no worries, there's no taxes, there's no work, your family's getting older. It's a lot more chill.
Before adulting.
Yeah. Adulting kind of sucks.
Did you have like a pivotal or golden memory back in middle school?
Just any
6th, 7th, 8th?
There's a lot of good moments. I remember the first party I went to actually was in middle school. That was tons of fun. But the memory that I'll never forget, and it's so trivial, but this girl beat the living crap out of a dude, and that was the first time I was like, oh shoot, girls can do that. And that's a moment that even like with my brother, when we see him from time to time, that comes up, that gets brought up. Do you remember when X beat the F out of Y? Because to us it was just, I never thought, as a kid you never think like, oh, a girl might have the ability to beat me up.
Right.
And I seen some girl like handle a dude. But yeah, I know it's a weird one, but dude,
was this in 6th grade, 7th, 8th, or what?
So I think I was in 8th grade. The 2 kids were in 7th grade.
Oh, okay. So I was already in high school.
You were already in high school.
Dang.
And I know the names. I'm not going to put them out there because that's not fair to them. But, like, it happened outside, and I thought the dude was going to win. But, nah. He got handled, unfortunately.
Dang. Yeah. When I moved to Riverview, a friend of ours said that, or I'm not sure if he said that, but I heard through the grapevine.
Yeah.
Like a few years ago at Riverview, there was like a black versus Mexican war or something.
I remember that.
Did you hear? Oh, did you?
I was there.
You experienced it?
I was there. Yeah.
Oh, dang.
I totally forgot about that. So I don't recall how it started, but yeah, the Mexican, it was the Latins, right? Because there was El Salvadorans, there's other people there.
Yeah.
Versus black people, and it just became a thing for like a semester. That was a thing.
What was it was just...
I don't remember the reasoning, but I do remember it was very trivial and stupid.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I remember it got to a point where they're like, tomorrow Latins people wear white or black, and then the black people wear white or black, and then we're gonna clash.
Dang.
And then some people ended up fighting. It wasn't as crazy as we thought it was gonna be.
Was this throughout like let's say it's one day? Is it throughout like all of the periods, or is it like at lunch everyone's fighting, or after school, or what?
So there was I remember at lunchtime there was a lot of fights.
Okay.
But yeah, throughout the periods, I'm guessing throughout the periods people fought. I remember the lunch was the big one.
Right.
We had a couple of fights, and if you remember the way our middle school was, because it used to be a high school, it was situated a little bit differently. You had a quad,
Right.
then you had the back area where you could play basketball.
Right.
Then you had the side area where it was a track area.
Right.
You remember behind the PE where the PE building met, like, I don't even know, right before Mr. Mars's class, there was like that other area. So there was.
We used to do it the mile or something.
We used to do the mile in the back.
In the grass.
Yeah. And then there was a basketball court.
Right.
And then on this side,
tetherball,
and there might have been a tennis court. I don't know what it wasn't. It was something.
Okay.
But it was an empty lot, so there was
Okay.
plenty of areas to fight, and not enough staff to stop it.
Yeah.
So it did get a little out of hand, but in my mind, I'm thinking like, this is 300. I was in 6th grade. I was still young. I'm thinking like, this is all out war. I was a little bit scared, but hey, we made it. We made it.
Yeah.
So we're still here.
And then after that, high school.
Yeah.
What did you think about your experience of high school, freshman to senior year?
Yeah, dude, it's a good question. I was not a fan of high school. I liked middle school a lot. I was kind of cool in middle school. I knew everyone. I didn't like high school. There's too many people in high school. There was too many classes, and I wasn't feeling school anymore. I don't know why. Like, I just didn't care about school. You know, there's things going on in life and whatever. So high school was never my favorite thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I see that, yeah.
But I got to a point where, I don't know, I want to say like 11th grade or 12th grade, where I was like, dude, like, I'm not doing anything at school. I was kind of the class clown. I mean, we had like AP Environmental.
Right.
I didn't take it seriously. Like, I would say cringe stuff. I would just joke. Like, my whole thing was to get a laugh out of someone.
I see.
You know what I mean? I was trying to do crowd work back then instead of like trying to like actually go to school.
Some Schultz.
Yeah.
Some
like,
crowd work stuff.
Low key, that's what it was. But like, I think secretly, like, you know, going back and thinking about that, there's bigger problems there. But, you know, I just didn't care. So, but when I got to that age, like 11, like I was saying, like 11th grade, I was like, dude, if I keep going this route, like, I'm not going to have a job. Like, it's going to be bad. I'm going to work at the liquor store my dad owns. And I don't want that, dude. So we had an advisor. I don't know if you remember that dude. It's like this this advisor. He looked like Uncle Phil.
Dang, I don't...
At Mount. Forget the guy's name. I did not like him, but he helped me a lot. He helped me a lot.
Okay. Oh, did he have glasses?
He had glasses. He's a big gentleman.
Black dude?
Black dude. Looked like Uncle Phil.
Kind of white hair-ish?
Yes.
I think, yeah. But I don't know his
He's
name.
like, you'd only see him if you were there after school.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But he helped you.
He helped me. He told me what I needed. He told me, like, your grades aren't the best, but they're not the worst. You can do a state university.
Okay.
I was like, oh, okay, I can do that? Okay, cool. What do I need? And then I got to it. I started doing after school program, and I hated that because my parents, we went to school in Concord, which is a city over, because where we live, the zoning is weird, so there's a middle school, but there's no high school. So they drove us over. And then our parents, you either work or no one wanted to drive a city over to pick their kids up. Mm-hmm. So if you did stay after school, if you did an extra curricular activity, you'd have to wait for the late bus, which came like at 6:30 or 7. So even after practice was done, even like, you know, you do 2 hours of extra after school program, still got to wait around till like 6:30. And I hated that. Like, I dread not doing anything. So it was just like, I hated doing anything like that. Yeah.
Right.
So my experience wasn't the best. Now I know yours is a little bit different. You were part of a academy.
But yeah. I was.
Can I just say, how was your experience? And then I have a question about the academy.
Okay.
I'm curious.
Oh wait, my bad.
How was your experience in like high school? Overall.
Overall high school.
Yeah.
I liked it. At one point, I think maybe sophomore year. Yeah, sophomore year, I saw myself similar in your shoes.
Yeah.
Like I became aware of my my GPA.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh, if I don't pick this up, I might not graduate.
Yeah.
You know, because it was like, because the minimum I think was 2.0 to graduate, or something like that. And I was like almost there. I'm like almost hitting it.
Yeah.
Like I was like 2.2,
Okay.
and slowly going down.
Oh no.
So then junior year, I picked it up a little bit, and I tried to follow that up in senior year, and then eventually graduated. But overall, I mean, I liked it. I liked high school.
Did you make a lot of meaningful relationships in high school that you still have or cherish?
I mean, obviously you and I.
Yeah, for sure. Andy.
Yeah, Andy, Calvin.
Yeah.
Your brother.
Yeah.
And a few others, and some others became acquaintances. But I still somewhat still talk to them, like through social media. But I mean, I guess it could have been better. High school could have been better, but I like it.
Okay.
It could have been better, but yeah, it is what it is.
One thing about, I know you, I mean, I've known you forever. You're good at connecting with people, regardless of who it is. It could be the scariest person. If I see somebody, I'm like, that guy's scary, or that guy's a nerd, or that guy's this or that. You have a way of connecting with them.
Really?
That's what I've always picked up, and I think that could help your experience. But that kind of leads me into my second question, the second part of my question is,
okay.
You were in an academy.
Right.
Which, I guess, you guys know what that is, right? It's, you lump up a bunch of kids and you all take the same classes and it's focused on something.
Mm-hmm.
Yours was like digital arts, if I remember.
Yeah.
My question would be is like, because you were in that program, do you think that enriched your experience socially and just overall? Or do you think that took away, detracted because you were only with that certain group of people?
Half.
Half and half.
But I would say in the beginning, sophomore year, because that was the beginning of the academies.
Yeah.
For students, it did feel like it was like a family, right? Everyone was close. We talked to each other, but then over time, junior year and then senior year, it's like it wasn't really a family, like amongst the students.
Oh wow!
Like it was kind of like cliques now.
By the time you guys got to like senior
to senior year, like
oh wow,
like it's that group, and then in my head, I remember telling myself like, "Hey, that's unfortunate." Like we started as a family. We talked to each other, and then now here we are. But I mean, I guess that's how it is, maybe.
Well, that's weird because what that becomes is that becomes almost like you guys create your own atmosphere there. So high school is just like that, right? High school is just a bunch of different cliques.
Yeah.
So what you guys did is you just created a smaller version of that. Within
exactly.
It's just divisions within the program.
Yeah. Because in high school generally, you can see the cliques outside,
exactly.
Right? Like the rockers people over here, the gangsters over here, soccer people over here. But
so yeah, it just became a small version of that.
Yeah, it did. But I kind of tried my best to still talk to, people
outside of that academy.
Outside and inside to each group, because in each group I still have like a friend.
Yeah.
So if it's like the rocker group over there, I'll occasionally go there. Hey, what's up, man? What's up? And then the music people in the music building, I occasionally visit there. The popular people by the tree. Do you remember
the tree kids?
The tree kids. Like I know some people over there. So sometimes like, hey, what's up, man? I try to,
Well, yeah, you're really good at like being able to connect with.
I get.
You have that ability. It's just it comes natural. I feel like to you, but like you said, bro, I never talked to the rocker kids. I don't know anything about the rock. I was actually in a rocker kids academy because it was easy.
Well,
I was in Fame.
Fame, okay.
But I wasn't in Fame because I cared. I was in Fame because it was pretty easy.
It was pretty okay.
Yeah, and I was like, because I talked to that gentleman. He told me I needed to make sure my English and like my history classes were good because
the counselor guy.
The counselor guy.
Okay.
I was pretty good at science. I mean, I've always liked science and math. I'm okay with, but it was like literature or speaking. It was that crap. I hate reading books. Ugh.
So middle school and high school what was your least favorite subject?
Least favorite subject? Yeah, easily English.
English, yeah.
Literature. First of all, it's like dry reading, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's like the teacher is I don't mean this in a wrong way, but the teacher is a super nerd. Like when it comes to literature, when it comes to reading, so they'll have you reading like what is the equivalent of like the Kendrick Lamar of books, and they're juiced about it, but you're like I don't get it, I don't care. So that was always not fun. What about?
In English throughout high school, yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think I've finished any book that was required for me.
Besides The Lord of Flies, I
didn't finish that. I didn't finish Beowulf. I didn't finish.
No, I didn't even read that.
Fahrenheit 451. I didn't read that.
Okay, I read some of that. I couldn't handle that. The two I read, The Lord of the Flies.
Okay, yeah.
And then George and Lenny, of Mice and Men. Is that what that's called?
Oh, we didn't.
You didn't read that?
We didn't get assigned that.
Okay, so I was in 10th grade.
Okay.
I guess I did really bad on my STAR test in the 9th grade.
Okay.
So they put me in an ESL English class. So I was in 10th grade. I was like in Algebra 2. I was like in a high science class, and then I had ESL. Literally to the point where half the class were kids fresh from like Latin America.
Gotcha.
I'm not talking about like they're Latin American kids. I'm talking about like half the words were still kind of in Spanish.
Yeah. Okay.
And I remember like thinking, I know I hate this subject, and I know I'm not the smartest when it comes to this, but I shouldn't be in this class. So I went and I talked to somebody. I was like, hey, listen, guys, like I can't do this. Like this is not for me.
What did they say?
So they tested me out of it. But one of the things I had to do is I had to read that book of Mice and Men.
Oh, okay.
And you asked me about my fondest memory in middle school.
Okay, your fondest memory in high school.
One of them.
Okay.
This guy that I'm not going to say his name. I know his name. Shout out to you if you know who you are. Gangster. Some guy that I always thought like a gangster.
Someone who you thought is a gangster?
Yeah, he was a gangster. He was a gangster.
Oh, he's a
gangster. He was a gangster dude.
Okay.
I remember me and him were sitting in class and we're just talking, chatting it up, and he's like, "Hey, Abodd, did you finish that book?" Like I was, "No, bro." Like we just started reading it. Like, why would I finish it? He's like, "Bro, this book is so good." I went home and I finished. He finished of Mice and Men in one day. And he's like, when you get to the last part, he's like, you're gonna be hella sad. And I was like,
wait, so did you actually read?
And then I actually read it, and then it's very the ending is very depressing.
Wow.
But I'll never forget because I've known that guy since middle school.
Okay.
And I've seen him since, and he's always kind of like the gangster. I don't want to say he's a gangster. He's a gangster kid, you know.
Like he had that personality.
He had that swag. He was that cool guy.
Okay.
And I never took him as somebody who would like enjoy reading or anything like that.
Books.
But when I guess something caught his attention and he did it.
Wow.
That inspired me to finish that book.
Was that the only book that you finished in high school, or?
And then The Lord of Flies. But
Lord of Flies. Okay.
You do that like when you had to do popcorn reading.
Yeah.
Bro,
Okay.
popcorn reading and ADHD do not go along.
Dang.
But yeah, those two books.
Okay, I see.
We actually were, if you remember, we had Mr. Sankey together, so that's pre-calc.
Math. Yeah.
And then we had
Pre-calc.
AP Environmental.
With yes.
Mr. Oliver.
Oliver. Yes.
I was gonna say, do you remember like what you thought of that class? Because I for at least
Which one?
For let's go with Mr. Sankey first.
Sankey.
Like Sokotoa and all that.
Yeah.
I remember, dude, like getting in that class, and it was the first time I had class with this guy, and I was in 11th grade
With Sankey.
with Mr. Sankey.
Okay. Yeah.
I was in 10th or 11th grade, but that was the first time we had class together. It was pre-cal.
Oh, you and I.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It was
yeah.
pre-cal, right? The class.
Yeah, it was pre-calc. Yeah,
It was pre-calculus.
Yeah.
So I had been 11th grade,
Mm-hmm.
and you were in 12th grade. And I was thinking that was the coolest thing ever that Philip and I, after, you feel me, like, since we've known each other in middle school, and now he's in the 12th grade, finally had a class with this guy.
Oh wait, so it was my 12th grade where I finally had class with you with Sankey and Oliver.
And then we had
Dang.
Mr. Oliver, yeah. But if you remember, we had Mr. Sankey in the beginning of the day.
Yeah, and then
Later on, I was like, I have another class with Philip.
like 6th period or something. The last period.
It was the last period, yeah. Exactly.
Dang.
But I was gonna say, dude, first of all, it was just super exciting. But both of those classes in particular, because there were those classes where it was 12th graders and 11th graders.
Right.
So and a lot of my friends were either in. I didn't have a lot of 11th grade friends. Right. I never had friends in my class of. It was always you and your boys and like the 12th graders.
Yeah.
Or Abodd and his boys.
Gotcha.
That were the 10th graders.
10th grader. Okay.
So I was like, dude, this is so cool. But I remember being in that class and not taking that class seriously because it was you. I don't want to name drop, but do you remember how that class was full of like people that we knew?
Yeah.
It was such a loaded class, dude. I had so much fun in that class.
You were in the other side though, right?
I was towards the front. I was towards the front, if you remember.
Oh, the front. Oh,
I was sitting. Yeah.
Okay. I was towards like by the door.
You were by the door. So you were, if
Right.
you remember, you were by the 12th graders.
Yeah.
There was Sarah, there was April Marie, and then I was over there by like Marissa, by Nee, by all the 11th graders that I knew.
Okay. Dang.
Good times though.
Did you enjoy that class?
I did. I didn't enjoy the course load.
Same.
Right?
Same. In the that class in the beginning, I think I was like in the beginning it was the first semester?
Yeah, first semester.
First semester, I remember like having a B, and then towards the last semester I had a C. So I'm like, dang, I gotta.
It dropped a little.
Yeah, it dropped a little.
No, that class got super hard, bro. When like
man.
Sokotoa got involved.
I don't even know what Sokotoa is. That sounds like a volcano. Sokotoa.
Sokotoa Mountains. Sounds very ethnic.
What did you think about APES, AP Environmental Science with Oliver?
That's probably the most impactful class I've ever had.
Impactful.
Yeah.
Whoa. Well, how so?
Because remember how I was just talking about like I was like the joke or the class clown.
Yes.
Yes. I also, because of that, and because I got in trouble because of that, I built a really good relationship with Mr. Oliver.
Oh, okay.
That was the first time I ever built a relationship with the teacher.
Okay.
The weirdest part is this dude's a hippie. Like me being, I don't have any problem with that, but me, I was a complete opposite of that.
Mm-hmm.
This was a hippie, and our opinions clashed, and I would say things and it would make him mad. But instead of getting mad, he would help me understand a different point of view. And I think that's what he was able to do for me, was to be able to be open. Exactly.
Open-minded.
To be open-minded.
Okay.
He managed to do that, even though he was a hippie, even though he was an oxymoron. He was a hippie, but he would play Tupac every time.
Yeah.
Anytime we had like you go into your next class, he would bang the loudest Tupac, Eminem, Dr. J, just all clean versions. But it was weird. It was an oxymoron, and then getting to know him, and I became his TA. I don't know if you knew that or not. My next year. So when I was 12th grade,
next year.
Because I built that relationship. But he put me on game. He put me on a lot of game about life, about school, about women, about everything. Like he took me under his wing, yeah. And I learned a lot from him. And I to this day, like I message him on Facebook and we keep up.
Dang, I mean, how is he since then? I haven't seen him since Mount.
Since Mount,
since high school.
He doesn't teach at Mount. And then 2020, he had a kid. He got he's not married. He got a girlfriend and then he has a kid now.
Okay, I heard. Okay.
And they actually moved. I think it's either Eureka or Mendocino, some like hippie area up north.
Up north. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Dang.
Yeah. But one of the main things he did for me, Phil, was let me understand that this, like what we live right now, is not a joke. Because like I said, I never took that stuff seriously.
Yeah.
And he just put me on. He put me on truth, and I think if you're listening to this, like, thank you. It helped me a lot. It helped me find like what I want. At least get my career going. I don't want to say find my path, but get my career going. And I always thank him for that.
Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But also, oddly enough, Mr. Senki is another teacher that really helped me just like mentally and stuff. I don't know if you knew, but like I'd hang out like not every day, but like once a week or twice a week I would be with Mr. Senki during lunch.
Okay.
Just chilling and just talking and learning with him. And that guy's such a smart dude. He's a banker, made tons of money. He's like, I don't care about the money anymore. He got a teaching credential and started teaching just because he cared about enriching the younger generation.
I didn't even know he was a banker.
Yeah, dude.
Like what was like a banker as in like, was he dealing with like loans or something? Was he dealing with investments or something? Like
that I don't know because I was too young to really understand the nitty gritty of it. But he said he made a good amount of money, and he said I retired. He's like, I do this because I care.
Yeah. Okay.
And I can respect that, dude. Mount is not an easy place to teach at.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah.
Kids don't want to learn. High school kids don't want to learn, especially like in the ghetto. Especially when you gotta wake up at like bro, we're at like 5:30, 6 o'clock just to catch a bus.
Catch the bus, yeah.
Because there's mad traffic hour going in the next city.
Dang.
Not to cut you off, but Chris Rock was talking about that. He said that he had a very similar situation as he went to school in another town. He's talking about how like it's not that the poor youth are any less capable. It's that, bro, we've already had a 3-hour workday before we even start school. And it's right, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little thought.
I mean, yeah, the Mount, the high school that we went to, like I said earlier, it could have been better, right?
Yeah.
But I think that experience kind of shaped us, right? Like how Sankey and Oliver shaped you to who you are now, right?
Most definitely, dude. I mean, I always think about how different would it have been had we gone to X, Y, and Z, but
right. If we went to a richer high school.
To a richer high school.
Right.
Or maybe we went to a poor high school. What if our parents never made it out here? You were living in wherever in the Philippines and wherever in Afghanistan.
Dang, that'd be
whack, low key. That would be super whack. I would have never known you. Probably would have been married with like 17 kids already. You know what I mean? But hey,
dang.
I actually in college read a book. The dude who created Pixar wrote a book.
Okay.
Creativity Inc. Really great book. But basically, what he talks about is like every moment, every second, every single decision we make creates another decision. So to go back and be like, what if? That what if is never possible, because just right now I had a slice of pizza. So if I had that slice of pizza, maybe somehow tomorrow it's gonna mess my stomach up, and then I'm gonna miss a job opportunity. There's so many factors that go into life and into whatever we call this life that
it's like a domino effect.
Way. It's a domino effect, and you can never pull it back. So I never think about that kind of stuff anymore, basically.
Going back to the high school, one memory or event or I something like that, right? That I hold fondly is talking to a friend sophomore year in geometry class with Mr. The guy who always says 7. Do you remember?
That says 7?
So he had curly hair, white dude.
Did he catch a case?
Math? No, I don't think so.
Oh, Mr. Lucian?
Mr. Lucian.
Oh, Mr. Lucian.
Mr. Lucian.
Okay.
I mean, he always says 7, right?
No, I didn't know it was his catchphrase.
Oh, okay.
But what I know about Mr. Lucian is he was a cool teacher.
He was.
I feel like if you had he would definitely smoke pot with kids.
Right.
It's kind of creepy now.
But in that class, I was in class with a guy named. Do you know a guy named Tyler?
You got to give me a last name.
I think Herney.
No, I don't know Tyler.
No,
He was in your grade?
Oh yeah, my grade. Oh, he was in woodshop.
Okay.
But it was him and I, a few other people, but in the first, not first semester, but I think the whole first and second semester of geometry class, I didn't even pay attention. It was just me and him just talking about. Because he was well, I don't know now, but back then he was a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh wow, okay.
And then I'm like a different, right?
Yeah.
But then we didn't necessarily argue. We were just talking like, oh wow, what do you guys talking? What do you guys think about this? We vibed like that.
Okay.
Like almost every day.
Yeah.
And then by the end of sophomore year, sophomore year, geometry class, dang, I failed.
Really?
Yeah. So I had to take summer school,
which we took together.
Oh, we did.
Yeah,
we did.
But kids, that just means don't talk about religion in school, or else you'll fail.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, I want to say how like not mesmerizing, but like it felt nice, just talking, like vibing.
It's funny you say that because for me,
sorry, he wasn't like trying to shove religion down my throat.
You guys are having it seems like you guys were having a conversation that was mutually beneficial.
Right. Yes. And I'm not trying to shove religion down his throat. It was just we were just vibing.
Yeah.
You were saying.
Which I was saying, which is what I picked up on. I thought you guys were both like chilling and just, this is my religion, this is yours. Let's talk about the pros and cons. It wasn't like that for me. When my religion got brought up, it was mostly getting clowned on, right?
Oh shit!
Getting called Al Qaeda, getting called Taliban. Oh, you're from Muslim, bro? Oh, dude, that's sick. You speak Islam?
You speak Islam?
Things like that. It was all jokes.
So throughout high school, throughout your whole life?
Throughout, basically, yeah. Because, I was 8 when 9/11 happened. And, I grew up in that era. That came with the territory.
Yeah. If I may, how was your experience at post 9/11?
It was scary.
It
was very scary. I remember vividly. I'll never forget this. My mom waking us up, being when you wake up, it's just like any other day. I had school. I remember she woke us up and she said, "Hey, something happened on the news. Can you guys we usually right when we woke up, we'd go to the bathroom, use the bathroom, brush our teeth. She's like, I want you guys to come to the living room with me. I want you guys to watch this." So she sat us down. And usually what would happen is after we do the bathroom, get dressed, we would sit, watch TV, eat our food, and then go to school. And she made us sit there. She said, "Today, the World Trade Center and the Pentagon," I don't even think the Pentagon was attacked. She said the World Trade Center got attacked. They both got attacked. The people who did it are Muslim. And you know that we're Muslim. People at school are probably going to ask you guys a lot of questions. And she sat down and prepped us for she literally told us.
Preparing you guys.
Preparing us that this is what we're going to have to deal with for what we thought was going to be for the next couple of months.
But it went for years, huh?
It went for years. But the thing was that what my mom told me was very, I don't want to say it was damaging, but it made me paranoid. Or it fed into my paranoia growing up, which is what she said about people hating Muslims, and then saying if someone asks you what you are or someone starts talking to you about religion, you tell them you're Latin, you tell them you're Hispanic. Because I still do, but back then I look like a little Mexican kid, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I look like I was from El Salvador.
Yeah. When I first saw you, I thought, is he Latino?
I was always like, when I'd go to, because we grew up with a lot of Latin people, they'd start the conversation off in Spanish with me. And then I'd be like, sorry, I'm a gringo. I don't know your language.
Dang.
But
so when you said that, oh, I'm Latino, I'm Mexican, so are you trying to get them to think that you're like Catholic or Christian or something?
Well, it's more so to hide my identity.
Okay, gotcha.
And I think that really got to me. Because I felt like I had to do that. And I remember at that time we would go to the Boys and Girls Club. Do you know what that is?
It's like
an after-school program.
After school, okay.
But basically...
You can hang out there and stuff?
You do your homework, you hang out.
Yeah.
But people start asking me what I am. And I'd start freaking out. And that just... Imagine being 8 and having to hide your whole identity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not fun. And that's still stuck to me. And I'm still... To this day, do I tell them what I am? I just put I'm white on the little forms. You know what I mean?
How about today? Are you able to say, if some random dude or from your work or something or at school, if someone said, "Oh, what are you?" Would you go right away? "Oh, I'm a Muslim."
It's still weird to me.
Or
it's still weird to me.
It's still weird.
It's still even when I tell him "Oh, he's gonna make a little Al Qaeda joke or something," I mentally prepare for that.
Okay.
Not that I care. It doesn't get to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't get to me. It's just that I've been preconditioned to think about that.
Yeah.
So
since you were a kid.
Since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I don't care about the jokes. I'll clap right back.
Yeah.
But it's just it is what it is, and it's kind of weird because I'm aware of it. I remember one time at the Boys and Girls Club. It was right before I was gonna leave. It's 6 or 6:30, whatever the time was, and this one of the I don't know if they're employees, volunteers, whatever they were, came up to me and asked me "Hey, where are you from? Where's your family from?" And I start stuttering. I didn't know what to say, and I told her I don't know. And I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know where my family's from. And she said, oh, okay. And like, she's like, you're sure? Like, you don't know? I was like, yeah, I don't know. And then at that time, my cousin was, she was at our house or she was staying with us. I don't remember. She came and picked me up.
Mm-hmm.
And she was much older than I was. And that chick went and asked her,
Mm-hmm.
like, what are you? And she told us, like, we're from Afghanistan. But she told it, she spilled the beans. That's how I felt. I was like, you spilled the beans. Like, we're supposed to keep this to ourselves.
They know now.
Yeah, like, I was mad, like, as an 8-year-old. But then she told me, she's like, it's okay. They're not here to judge you. And they're not here. But I thought I was already fucking, it was too late.
Dang.
It's too late to turn back.
Shoot. But
Yeah, dude.
has that paranoia gone down over the years, or do you still have that barrier? Like hardened.
What do you mean?
Like if someone were to ask you, what are you? What are you? Culturally, what are you religiously?
It's always weird to me.
Okay.
Like, I don't care if someone asks me about what I am, because I'm genuinely curious too about other people, right?
Okay.
But there's a nice way of asking it, I guess, and there's a weird way.
The weird way is.
The weird
Like-
way is like, oh, what are you, bro? Are you Al Qaeda, huh?
And
Middle East. You're DJ Khaled, huh?
yeah.
That's the weird way. But then some people they're genuinely curious.
They'll be like, if I may ask.
Yeah.
That's like the more respectful
The
way.
more respectful way.
Yeah.
Just
I
like, what
guess.
are you? And like, that's cool. And I don't mind
Yeah.
talking about it.
Yeah.
But don't, because I'm sure like you as an Asian American probably, like, I've heard it before, like, what Asian are you? That's
What Asian
That's
are you?
super
Yeah.
disrespectful,
Yeah.
right?
I mean,
Like,
yeah.
or do you think?
I mean,
Or is it in context?
I don't like over the years now. If someone says, "What Asian are you?" Like now, I don't really feel offended. I guess anymore, or I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I ever got offended.
Okay.
I mean, I.
Can I
go
say
ahead.
this?
Yeah.
Does it matter who asks? Is there a certain persona? You feel like there's like negative connotation if like a white person asks?
Can you give me the question again?
Yeah. Okay. Because
No, the question as in what Asian are you? Can you say that to me?
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
Philip, what Asian are you? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah. I'm not sure if that question if it were to be asked by a black dude, a white dude. I think it depends on how it's asked. Maybe I'll feel offended. Like, hey, man, what Asian? Maybe like that.
Okay.
But I'm not sure. I need to.
It's by the tonality, it seems
Maybe
like.
tonality. Maybe the tonality. But I mean, if I hear that, like, what Asian are, usually most often, I would like reply back like, oh, I'm if it's like a serious, like, oh, I'm Filipino. But if it's like, if I know, like, if I feel like this guy like likes to joke,
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm Chinese, man. You know, like, and they'll be like, you sure? I don't think so. And then we go back and forth. But
So you're picking up on the situation. Okay. Because I think this is me projecting some of my insecurities. It's like,
okay.
if like a white person were to ask me, like, what am I?
Oh yeah, how,
You know,
how
that
would you
little
feel?
that little exclamation mark in my head, like,
Like, uh-oh.
is this motherfucker racist? Even though there's checks and balances. Like, in my own mind, like, I'm very aware of my surroundings and who I am, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, those little thoughts come up, like, is this a Bush? Is this a go? Let's go, Brandon. You know what I mean?
Has anyone been, like, truly racist to you?
Very few people. And we live in California, so I don't know if that's what it is.
Yeah.
To my face, very few people
Very few
people have been
Like,
racist.
Like, has anyone been truly racist to you in high school?
Truly racist?
Truly.
I never picked up any. When you say truly racist, I mean to the point where I'm assuming like that I felt scared, or that I felt threatened by the comments. Is that what you mean?
Both.
Yeah, no, it's never been like that.
I see.
There's been jokes that have been gone that maybe
They gone
a little too far.
Okay.
But it's never been on some malice thing, right? I've never felt like, oh, this dude really
Okay.
hates me. But do you remember there is this like super duper big white guy? He was like 6 foot something. He was like 600 pounds
In high school.
in high school. And you guys used to hang out with him sometimes.
Yeah.
That dude was like the closest person who might have said anything racist, but I never felt like it was coming from a place of true racism.
Okay.
Yeah.
You maybe. What do you think it came from? Like, he's trying to be funny.
Yeah, I think. As a jokester, I think there's a price you pay for making jokes, and sometimes you take it too far.
Right. Yeah.
But I can't be mad at that. Now, if there was some malice intent, he's through. You know what I mean? Then it's bad.
Yeah.
But I still, bro, like I don't think so. Over the internet, people are super racist
for sure.
But that's because
it's the internet.
It's the internet. There's like an invisible wall protecting them.
Did you feel any malice intent or whatever back in middle school or even younger?
No, never. You know the funny thing is, the war now obviously is over, but like from 2001 up until 2016, I felt nothing.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And then Trump comes into presidency.
Right. 2016 to 2020.
To 2020.
Did you feel?
Yes, there was this resurgence of racism, right? And I don't know if it was because it's because of him or because he gave a platform or a voice to that voiceless, you know what I mean, to that crowd. Because there's always going to be racist people, right? There's always going to be thieves. There's always going to be rapists. There's a subsect of it. But I felt like that their voice was a lot louder, and I genuinely felt like uneasy at times. Uneasy at times. I remember my dad going to Sweden in December 2015, basically he went before the inauguration and came back after the inauguration. So Trump was in office.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know the exact timeline, but we were all scared because if you remember, he was doing bans on
the Islamic countries, right?
Islamic countries and people who were not white. And my dad was a full citizen. He's been a citizen for now 40 plus something years.
Yeah. He's more American than me.
Than us, for sure. But in the back of my mind and my family's mind, were like, dude, he might get freaking stuck there. Because people, if you remember, were being stuck and getting banned or getting like, they'd fly into like, let's say, not Iran or those crazy countries, but like other Islamic countries. And then they weren't being able to come back in.
So what happened? Was he able to?
He was able to come right back in, but we lived in fear.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because he preached like there was some Latin hate, but there's a lot of Islamophobia.
Yeah.
That came during that. I don't know. I don't want to get political or anything, but did you feel any different or uneasiness as a Filipino during Trump's presidency?
I remember one of my cousins. He was kind of scared because he was trying at that time he was trying to get citizenship.
Oh, shoot.
U.S. citizenship, and he was talking to me about it one time, and in my head I'm like, well, not in my head. I was telling him, I mean, you know, don't lose sleep over it. You know, let's just see what happens. Let's see what happens, and then I guess for the most part he was okay.
Okay.
For the most part, but other than that, I mean, throughout Trump's presidency, as an Asian, as a Filipino, I guess it was the same as under Obama, I suppose.
I can see that. And I think a lot of it was fear on our own end.
Yeah, and for sure, I mean, outside of that, I mean, there was like social uproar.
We're going to get to that. That was going to be my next question. Because we talked about 9/11, which I had to deal with for the longest time. And then 2020 rolls around.
Right.
We get COVID.
Right.
We get what ends up becoming Asia hate,
right.
which was spewed by, unfortunately, our political leaders. But then that led it to Asian hate. So we're in the Bay Area. I don't know if you guys end up watching this from outside the Bay Area. Bro, people beat the living shit out of like old, poor Asian people for like a whole year. I'm sure you as a youngin didn't care, but how did your family feel about that? Your pops, because I know his family, I know his parents. I'm sure it's freaking scary.
It was not often, but sometimes that topic is brought up. I remember, was it 2020 or 2021 when everyone was like beating up, Asians or whatever?
Yeah.
I remember like my mom telling me like if I go out, she just tells me, oh, just be careful, because I know what she's saying.
Well,
because she might think I might get beat up, but I understood what she was saying. So I thought that was pretty interesting how, something that's outside is now affecting, my mom, and now she's worried about me.
So she was worried about you, but what about herself, or what about your pops? Because I know, and they also, so your parents work in that area where like those kind of things happen, right? It was more so SF, Oakland, and that area. Where do you think they had any fear about their own lives, or the fear of losing it, or anything like that?
I'm pretty sure they had some thought about it, but I never heard them really talk about it.
Okay.
For sure, in my mom's side, my aunts, usually my aunts, they brought it up like like not all the time, but kind of often
At the family gatherings and whatever. Okay.
So
Yeah, it was a weird time, dude, because like I said, I barely faced racism. I barely had to deal with that stuff, even though our country bombed and exploded the World Trade Center.
right.
And then that Asian hate stuff really got me, because it's one thing, bro, to find like a willing body Asian person, somebody that's like around your age, and you pick a fight with them. Even that's wrong, because there's no basis for it. But why go find a lady with a cane who's 80 years old carrying her groceries, and then you beat them senseless? Like, oh, bro, you're tough as shit. Like, what?
Yeah. It's like, I mean, I guess they're easy targets.
Yeah, but
Dang.
but for what?
Yeah.
It's that really pissed me off, dude. But it opens your eyes to the fact that, like I said, racism will never go away. Hatred will never go away.
True. I remember like 2020, 2021, and even now, there's like this concept of we're gonna stop or destroy racism altogether. But in my head, I'm like,
That shit never works.
yeah, it doesn't work. And plus, it's like saying you're going to eradicate evil from this world completely. It's like, in my mind, it's like there will always be good, there will always be bad.
You need that balance, unfortunately.
You need that balance, but at the same time, it's like it's like saying you want to destroy, something that's, it's, I don't want to say natural, but it's like, there will always be good, there will always be bad.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's like saying like you want to destroy, or not destroy, you want to
Get rid of
something that's,
Yeah, well, and it's part of the ecosystem, unfortunately, right?
Yeah.
It's,
But maybe something better to say is that maybe instead of deleting or destroying racism altogether, maybe we could just say, oh, let's come together as a people to work better towards a better future. I think that's a better phrase than just saying we're going to completely destroy racism. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I'm like
absolutely.
stuttering and shit.
I'm trying to listen into that. I agree.
Yeah.
The couple points you made there. First of all, we're not going to get rid of racism, unfortunately, because the way this stuff, I feel like the way this works is like you gotta pit people against themselves. And I come from Afghanistan. I was born and raised here, but in Afghanistan, so this is an easier way of looking at it. In Afghanistan, there's a couple of different sects of people. We have the people that are from Afghanistan, the Pashtuns. They're like the natives.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And the
natives.
people that live in Kabul, they're the Farsi speakers. They've
Farsi,
come
okay.
from, some come from Iran, some come from as far as Egypt.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Those are the Farsi speakers, and they're the outsiders. And then they have the Hazaras, which are of Chinese descent.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So are there like three main types of people? Three main types of people.
Well, there's one more, and then there's the Uzbeks from Uzbekistan.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But the thing is, the Pashtuns think, and my mom is Pashtun, my dad is from Kabul.
Okay.
So the Pashtuns think that Afghanistan is their land, you know? This is ours.
Oh, okay.
You guys are outsiders.
Right.
And then the Kabuls think that they're the high class because they speak Farsi and they run the politics of Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so those two have beef.
So there's inner hate within the country.
There's huge. And then
Right.
everyone hates the Hazaras.
Dang.
Yeah, because so the Hazaras are like, for the longest time, they were, I don't want to say slaves, but they were kind of used as slaves out there.
So everyone thinks that they're the lower class.
Yeah, if there was a caste system, everyone thinks of them as the lowest of the low.
Gotcha.
The funny thing is, they're smart as shit. They're way smarter than than like the Afghans that speak Farsi or the Pashtuns and stuff. But because it's just like out here how we treat African Americans, we have some of the greatest athletes and now some of the greatest business people.
Right.
But they're always going to be shat upon.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. So the reason why I bring that up, you can look at how Afghanistan is fucked, and the way Afghanistan's corrupt government, the only way that works is if they pit everyone against each other. So if the Hazaras hate you and then you hate the Hazaras and they hate the Pashtuns, then you don't worry about the government, or you don't worry about the people that are, and not necessarily government, but the corrupt people.
Yeah. Because you're too busy
Dealing with your own fucking problems.
Yeah.
Or hatred, which are, there's no basis to it, but it's crazy how powerful marketing or propaganda can be.
Shit.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
And plus, that's just in one country. Imagine other countries, right?
yeah, imagine countries that have power, countries that are more stable. There's always shit going on. So I don't think you can ever rid a country or us in general, the people, of racism. But you're right. If we can come together and work together.
I think we can build something. We can build a better society. But yeah, I don't think like getting rid of racism, getting rid of evil, that it's like trying to achieve utopia.
Yeah.
You know?
I always think when you brought up utopia, it's a really good point. It's like, well, you can't have utopia without understanding what a shitty day is.
Exactly, yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
It's like, dude, you don't go to work one day, it's the best feeling ever. You know, you take 3 days off and it's the best.
Right.
You chill, you relax, you might, go to the beach. Day 4, day 5, but like by day 10, you're like, dude, fuck, I just want to go do some paperwork. You know what I mean? You need that balance.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get political. We're already talking a little bit of politics.
Go ahead.
And we're already talking about racism.
Let's talk about something.
Let's talk about more racism.
Okay.
Let's talk about more racism. Let's talk about, not even racism. I take that back.
Okay.
Let's talk about police.
Police.
Can we talk about that, or is that?
Let's go.
We're already doing it, right?
We're already doing it. Yeah.
We're already
this
doing
is
it.
content. This is content right here. Okay. What do you think? What do you think about police?
Yeah, it's actually a really good question. I've been asking myself that because I've been very anti-cop my whole life.
Okay.
I've been very anti-cop. I've had bad experiences with cops. Never been to jail, so that's good. But I've always had bad experiences with cops. But now I'm older, and
so what do you think?
And I own stuff, and I have a little bit of money, and then I realize like there's a reason for cops.
There's a reason.
You know what I mean?
Okay, I see. I get what you're saying.
But with that said, this is what I want to talk about.
Okay.
And I know we're a little bit late because this has been going on forever, but in the last couple of years, I think one of the biggest things is cop and police brutality. And I want to kind of talk about that a little bit, and I want to talk about the media portrayal of the incidences. Not about cops, but just the incidences. Both sides involved, both parties, right? The cops and the quote-unquote bad guys at times.
Okay.
What was the big one? The George Floyd.
Okay.
I think that was clear-cut just fucked up. Excuse me, a horrible situation.
Yes.
That was clearly a horrible situation.
Yes.
I think cops were clearly in the wrong.
Yes.
And there's other ones. Ahmaud Marbury, but that wasn't cops. That was like two fucking crazy crackers in the woods. Trayvon Martin, which is, this goes back like, 10 years ago.
Right.
These are clear cut, but some of the ones, like the one that just happened a week ago, I don't know if you saw. It was a gentleman, he was a DoorDasher it must have been Atlanta. I think it was Atlanta.
I don't think I know this one.
So he had... Basically, it was in Akron, Ohio. So it was in Akron, Ohio. He shot at the police officers, ran away.
He's a DoorDasher.
Yeah, so he was DoorDasher. I guess that's only important because he was dashing at the time. Okay. I don't know.
And then he shot at the police?
I guess the cops were trying to pull him over. He had shot at them, ran away. And then the big story was the cops, like when they found him, they lit him up. They probably put like 90 bullets in him.
Dang.
Did you hear about that?
Oh, maybe. I heard something about someone getting shot a lot of times.
A lot of times. So that was my problem. Like with the media, that's what I heard too, bro. I saw cops shoot gentlemen 90 times, and I'm thinking, oh shit, is this another one of those events? Is this another Rodney King event?
Right.
And when I went back and I read it, that's when I read that he had a gun. He shot at the cops while he's in his car, runs away, and then the cops light him up because he runs away, and then when the cops catch him, he gets out of the car and then runs on foot. Now I have a problem with the fact that they shoot him 90 times.
That's kind of a lot.
No matter who you are, no matter what you do,
like 90,
or you know,
dang.
Yeah,
even 50, even 20 is a lot.
Even 20 is a lot.
You know.
But at the same time, my problem goes back to the media because they sold it to me as cops just firing at this guy for no reason.
Right.
But then I don't know if I'm not going to name drop, but we have a friend that lives down the street. He's a police officer for the Oakland Police Department, and then I have another friend who lives in San Marco, who's a police department for the Vallejo Police Department.
Okay.
These are people that I know. These are people that I hang out with.
They're chill.
They're people.
Right.
Like at the end, I'm not saying they're good or they're bad. They're people.
They're people. Yeah. Humans.
And they're humans, and I never thought of cops as humans, unfortunately. And this is just me being real.
Right.
And me being vulnerable, but getting to know them and getting to know their stories and their personalities. They're cool people, dude. But at the same time, they do a job that's a lot more demanding, than a typical job is.
It can be scary for sure,
dude. It can be hell. There's video. You just get shot at,
and you can get.
I don't care how much I'm getting paid, bro. If I know I'm getting shot at, like I don't want to do it.
Yeah. I mean, it's like almost a guarantee. Like if you're going to be a police officer on the street, like it's like you're gonna be.
There's an opportunity for you
for death. Yeah.
And I'm sure that gets to you, into your psyche, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right. Like I said, maybe not day 1 or day 2, but by day 10 or by year 2, you're just like, dude, it's inevitable. Excuse me, it's inevitable. So, I guess what I'm trying to say is now that I'm older, I see both sides of it.
Gotcha.
And I think good policing is detrimental to our society.
Most definitely. I think for sure it's almost like 100% we need good cops. Good policing. Good policing, good psychology, good mental health with them, you know?
Yes.
And then, you know, with the bad cops, with the corrupt cops, I mean, yeah, you gotta let them go. You gotta
figure
know?
that, nip that in the bud.
Yeah.
But I think
my bad.
No, go ahead.
Because it's like now, like if someone wants to become a police officer, right, and you're a person of color, and you want to become a police officer, you know, now society thinks of you like, oh, you want to be a
There's
police.
a stigma.
There's a stigma now,
especially for young like African American cops, because they think you're an op. They think you're in opposition to.
Yeah. You're what's that? An uncle.
Uncle Tom.
Uncle Tom? Is that how you?
Yeah, you're
say
Uncle Tom.
Yeah, you're working for the enemy now.
Like, hey, bro, you're working for the enemy. What's up? There's like a stigma.
There's a huge stigma, which is a problem because unfortunately, one of the gentlemen that I know is a black cop, and he's young. He's like 29 years old.
Dang.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And if you guys know anything about like the Vallejo area,
Oh, dang.
it's once it's a scary area, and two it's
707.
7-0 Savage, bro. So they're about that life. There is a big African American community there, but I think even though through the stigma, I think it's very important to have the police in your community be part of the community or be able to connect with the community.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's the end all be all, but I think it's very important to have or to build departments that have these things in place, right? You can't expect everyone to be from Pittsburgh or everyone to be from that area. But bro, if I were to get pulled over, I'd feel a lot more comfortable seeing somebody who is, maybe of my age or maybe of my skin tone or maybe of my background. There's different ways, but we need to have a way to connect.
Right.
And I think that would go a long way because it sucks watching the news and then watching people die senselessly, or even watching the news and then seeing police get mistreated, because then that puts a bad taste in our mouths. And now we're thinking like, oh, this dude's a corrupt mother, this is a bad guy.
Yeah.
When in reality,
Like
that's not the case.
That's not the case.
It might not be the case. Yeah, I've been thinking about that for a while, and it's just.
So now, are you like more towards, like, it depends on what happened. It depends on the situation. Since now you're like you see the police side, you see the victim side now. You see both sides.
So for
are you
me,
like that now?
Well, yeah, but yes and no. For me, this is if you don't have the dash cam footage and you don't have the body worn cameras.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear the story. I want to see the whole thing, and I'm genuinely curious. I love watching it. I love because being a police officer is very tactical, right? And it's you're playing chess out there, dude, and you got one life.
Dang.
You know what I mean?
One life.
So I love watching and I love seeing how it goes down. But I will never watch the news or take the news at face value when it comes to police officers. So here's another story. There's a video of a police officer. There was news of police officers shooting a young Latino man.
Okay.
But I went and I found the body cam footage, and the cop goes to the gentleman, and the guy had an open bottle of alcohol in the mall, and he was underage, and the cop. I mean, that's in my opinion, it's a stupid reason to stop someone. But the cop was being respectful throughout the whole thing. And the situation, they took care of it and they went outside, and the cop said, this is the weird part because it's iffy. Like the cop could have not said, hey, there's something in your purse, because he had a man bag. Look, he had something in there, and the guy got scared because the cop said, can I search it? And the guy said no.
Okay.
And the cop said, okay, like, I want to look at it. And the guy, instead of saying sure, he runs, pulls out a gun, starts shooting the cop. And the cop had to chase him, and unfortunately, they had to kill him. They had to kill him. But when I saw that news, it just said it didn't say unarmed. It said police kills a Latin or Mexican teenager.
With the media, it's like they're trying to get that clickbait.
So that's the problem. It's clickbait, but when you do it on, like, let's say a podcast, it's not that big of a deal. But when we're doing it for like for police or for something that matters, let's say military or something that matters and affects the lives of tons of people, clickbait is not what you should go for.
Yeah, right. It should the news media at the end of the day should just report on unbiased newsworthy news.
Yes, and there's tons of that every day.
Yeah,
there's tons of news, but we want the juiciest gossip.
Yeah, that's
which is a problem.
That's the unfortunate part.
Yeah.
Like you were saying, it was like what was the title? Police shoots at a Latin
a teenager.
That to me that sounds
that's clickbait because
that's marketing.
Yes.
Like, oh, I wanna I want to read that. I want to watch that.
And that's
story.
what happened. And I clicked because I saw that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what happened to this little kid?
Right.
Oh, okay. He had a gun on him.
Right. There's like an agenda with the news, these big news organizations.
Yeah, and
You know.
I want to say this. I think politics is stupid. Like, if you're, I love Trump or I love Biden, like, to me, I think you're dumb, regardless. But you're right. There's an agenda. Like, one person pushes this view.
Right.
And then, so if you watch that news, right, your whole thing is that.
Yeah.
Versus
yeah.
if you watch this news, the good news,
Right.
you know, the good news.
The good news.
Because you're a good person, they spew their BS. But at the end of the day, what happens is you create divisions, and that's what I don't like. Just give me the unbiased news.
Right.
Let me use my brain, do some critical thinking. That's what that brain's there for, and then come up with your own consensus.
That's like.
Why is that so hard to understand?
That should be the basis of news media. That should be, but.
You think it ever was? You think there was a point where there was purity or honesty in like journalism?
I would say maybe back then there was not 100% truth, but maybe it leaned more towards newsworthy truth news.
Yeah.
And then over time it became like, oh, let's try to make this story into something else so we can get more views, more ratings,
More clicks.
What's the trend right now? Oh, Asians getting beat up. All right, let's pick and choose this story to seem like it's the police's fault or whatever.
Or somebody else's fault.
Or someone else's fault.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate.
And it shouldn't happen in the news. Because, you know, you and I are into marketing and business, and I think in today's society, marketing is a pivotal tool.
Most definitely.
Because, bro, right now, even in the smallest, crappiest little city that you might live in, there's probably 4 or 5, let's keep it on the most simple, basic burger shops.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, yeah.
Or tons of tacos or whatever. But how do you differentiate that? How do you specialize you? How do you make Phillips burritos or Phillips tacos pop?
I think more unique than the others.
Than others. You
Gotcha.
gotta market it that way.
Right. Yes.
And that's who cares? It's a burrito, bro. It's like you don't like it, just go eat another one. But then when you're messing with the livelihoods of tons of people, that's when it becomes a little, I think, unethical. But I guess that's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a story. I think in the 70s or something.
Oh wow.
Oh shoot! What was the story? I just had it while you were talking, but the story was that there was this guy, either in the 70s or 70s or something. He was selling like rocks.
Rocks.
He was selling rocks.
Like rocks or
rocks.
like cocaine, baby?
just those simple rocks you find like on the ground or whatever. He was selling them to like people.
Okay.
And he became a millionaire because
the pet rock guy.
The pet rock, yeah.
Yes.
Because of his marketing, he made it desirable. He made it, just like, oh dang, maybe
It made you want to rock.
made you want to rock. Yeah, he wanted you to smell what the rock's cooking.
What the rock is cooking.
And then became a millionaire.
That was a hit.
Yeah.
Well,
marketing is pretty crazy.
it's crazy. And to think about, so with that guy, just by marketing alone, he managed to make millions off of rocks.
Yeah,
So literally make millions off of rocks. But the thing to think about, I guess, in that sense is, that was he was a one-hit wonder, right? In a sense?
Yeah, in a sense, yeah.
So even if you have no business ideas or you can be dumb as a rock, if you can market one thing and you know how to do it well, you could be set for life. And that's the issue that's what the freaking problem that I also have with that.
Of which one?
Which is marketing incorrectly, using it to influence people in the wrong way.
Yeah, I see. Like evil marketing or I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But going to your back to your rock thing, do you know any other like stupid ideas like that made money? Like I think of, remember ShamWow?
Oh, the cleaning thing.
Bro, they sold a ton of those, and it's just The commercials were so stupid but so funny.
It's he's set for life.
He's set.
I think after that he created more other products.
He's in jail though, I think.
Oh dang! Never mind.
think, or he's addicted to cocaine or something. There's something
Okay.
about him.
Okay.
I don't know. Don't hold me on that, guys. There's something about that guy though.
Okay, I see.
But when he had that headset on, he was out there scrubbing shit,
The
bro.
white dude, right?
I
Or
was
whatever
like,
he is.
that dude, the white dude.
Yeah.
I was like, man, as a teenager, I want to start cleaning shit.
Dang.
He got me as a teenager to want to clean stuff, bro. That's hard to do.
Dang. I mean, here's another story. Cigarettes. Back then, if I remember correctly, like maybe in the 20s or 30s or something like that, cigarettes was a female thing.
Yes, an appetite suppressor for females to control their weight.
That I did not know.
Yeah.
But I just knew that it was more for females. And then I forget which brand of cigarettes they created like an advertising campaign. They made this cowboy campaign. He was wearing a hat, testosterone, cigarette. Because of that changed the audience.
Oh wow.
Back then, cigarettes now is a male thing.
Yeah, it's male dominant. It's almost gross when you see like a girl smoking.
Right. But because of the whatever brand, I forget the brand's name, because of that advertising, it completely changed the audience. So I'm like, dang, that marketing, advertising is pretty.
It's powerful.
It's powerful.
Wow, and that's the thing is nowadays especially with I guess nicotine. It went from women to men. Now it's geared towards kids.
Oh yeah. Oh,
right, with Juuls and all the.
Did you hear about the Juuls?
No.
It's like, I'm not sure if it's federal or state, but it's like now completely banned.
The brand Juul or just nicotine pens in general? Do you know?
Just Juul.
Juul the brand.
Juul, yeah. If I remember, I just Google it.
Google it, bro. So in 2019 or 2020, Juul made so much money that each employee that was a full-time employee, so mostly all their employees, got $1 million each.
Wow.
$1 million. They just gave it to them because they had that much freaking money.
They made bank.
Yeah, but that also makes sense. But can we talk about? I've never smoked a cigarette in my life.
Okay.
So I don't know much about the cigarette, and I've taken hits of Juuls and stuff.
Okay.
Juul, you just said Juul got banned, but
Yes.
cigarettes are still legal.
Cigarettes still legal.
After 100 years, do you think that's some lobbying going on there?
Oh, most definitely.
Right?
Most definitely. I remember reading, the cigarette companies lobby hard towards the politicians to stay alive. You know?
And I'm sure they're buddies because they're all probably like older gentlemen. Do you think that when people of our age go into politics, and we become a little bit more powerful, are they going to be doing like I don't know, free Young Thug and do things that like matter to our generation? Have Juuls come back and have things that kids like, or not kids, but people from our generation. Because I feel like lobbying plays such a big role into it, and a lot of things are. The rules of today are still for people that are much older than we are, right? It's for the boomer generation.
Yeah.
I wonder how that's gonna shift when
Our generation becomes like them.
Yes. Or
Yeah.
will it?
There is a transition now of marijuana becoming
That's a big one.
becoming legal throughout all the states. In our lifetime, maybe we could see marijuana becoming legal
Statewide.
nationwide.
Oh, nation. Yeah.
Maybe when we're old.
Yeah. I can see that.
But we'll see. I don't know. How do you feel about it? I'm not sure.
About marijuana or about the politics?
Both. Let's do both.
Okay, no. So I'm sure as we get older and the politicians are more our age, it's going to be more aligned with our values, right? Just how it is for the current generation. They we get roasted all the time for not being able to afford stuff and not being able to buy our own houses, and those are luxuries that we no longer have. Like especially here in California,
Right.
we can't do it. But I think as our generation is into power and has more power, we'll get that. But as far as marijuana goes, yeah, for sure, I think we've already have it legal in tons of states. I don't know all the states, but tons of states are.
Yeah.
If it's not legal, it's at least decriminalized. We're gonna have issues in places like Texas and stuff, but oddly enough, Arkansas, which is part of the Bible Belt, it was one of the first states that
to legalize
it or to decriminalize it, whatever. But
Right.
they don't care out there. So I think that's a big step forward, and to think about they're okay with it, but I don't know, some other place that is a lot more
more conservative.
no, that are more lefty, that they're not okay with it, which is weird, right? How do you let the Bible Belt say okay to that and then not anyone else?
Right.
But that's a good step forward.
It's like the irony.
Yeah, the irony is just
But I mean,
the Bible Belt.
the Bible Belt
Have you ever heard of that? A couple of I guess there's a couple of states.
that are hardcore Christian. I think I've heard of it, but now you're reminding me of the Bible Belt.
The Bible Belt.
Yeah.
I've been watching videos on Arkansas. It looks like a cool place, bro.
Arkansas. Oh dang.
I don't know about the people. I'm sure there might be racists, and I'm sure there might be Ku Klux members. But it's a nice place, guys. There's sick mountain biking trails, and they're putting tons of money into the mountains and into exploration of hiking, mountain biking, all those things.
Are you looking into possibly living there?
No, but I definitely for sure
Just
visit vacation.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. They've sold me.
They've sold
me. Yeah.
Is there any state that you would want to live in?
That I would want to live in?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, the older I get, the more I realize we can't afford a home out here in Cali.
Yeah.
So there's nowhere like California. That's for sure. We live in the hood, we live in the ghetto. If he were to open the garage, we live mountainside. There's hiking trails and there's tons of things to do. And then that way there's the beach. It's crazy. But also it's crazy expensive and crazy hectic. The traffic here is horrible. So yeah, if I move anywhere, I have never been, but maybe Utah looks really nice.
Ooh, why Utah?
Sister wives. No, I'm kidding. It's a beautiful place and it looks relatively, affordable.
I heard that their big lake is salty.
Very salty. Yeah, they got salt flats, bro. But even if I go there, I don't know if I'd move to Salt Lake City, maybe one of the smaller towns.
Okay.
Hurricane or something. Something light. New Mexico's really nice. Arizona's really nice, and obviously Texas, since that's what everyone wants to do.
Texas.
But I think we missed the ship on Austin.
On Austin, yeah.
So that's just almost as expensive as out here.
Yeah. A lot of people moved to Austin from California. During, especially the pandemic, the Californians either went to Austin or Washington or Seattle, Portland.
That's a nice area.
And the New York people went to Florida during the pandemic.
I don't mind living in Florida.
I don't know now. I don't know what's going on now.
Bro, for me, as long as I have my own house, I don't have to worry about paying rent. And just I've already paid it off.
Yeah.
And I have a car.
Yeah.
I don't think I need more than that.
You're set.
I'm set.
You got shelter. You got a vehicle that you can go
places and make money in.
That's it.
And that's it. I like riding my bike. So if I do move to Florida, you can't mountain bike out there because they don't have mountains. But so I think that's a good point. That's actually really important to me. I need to have mountains where I live. That's why Utah is really important to me, or even New Mexico and Arizona.
Yeah,
mountainous regions. When you go into Texas, not really.
Yeah.
And Florida for sure doesn't have anything.
So for sure, it needs to be mountainous, hilly. Or something.
I love that. To me, it's more important than I don't like the beaches. I don't like water that much. It scares me, low key.
So more towards the mountain. I mean, you do look like a mountain man.
Yeah, it's in my DNA, bro. Technically, being my mom's side, they're jungle people, the Pashtuns.
But in Afghanistan, there is there is like an area that's like pretty, what jungly or mountainy or hilly.
So Afghanistan is all mountains.
So okay.
So I guess it's in
Okay.
my DNA technically. I just
Okay.
thought about that. But where my mom is from, the city, it's not the city. Yeah, her city's called Jalalabad,
Okay.
and
Okay.
that's like the jungles of Afghanistan. That's where you do a lot of the tropical fruits and stuff.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's like
okay.
my grandpa was like a farmer.
Mm-hmm.
He had like a huge plot of land's like pretty cheap out there.
Mm-hmm.
Had a big plot of land, and then they lived off of that, and then they made money off of that.
Okay.
They had animals too, and so they're technically jungle people, but
How about your dad's side,
they grew up in Kabul, so they were in the city,
the city? Okay.
and they were more liberal, right? So when you grow up in the city, you're more
okay.
liberal.
Okay.
Yeah, they are less
Are they-
hardcore.
Are they like more freer? Like
Yeah,
that?
I guess people in Kabul, not my dad. My dad's pretty conservative and like
Okay.
hardcore, but like people from Kabul
Okay.
tend to be more liberal and chill. They're more, think of it as like SF versus, I don't know, like Reading. You know what I mean?
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
I see. Dang. You said your dad is more conservative, right?
Yeah, I would
Has-
say so.
Has there been clashes of him and you of
Yeah.
philosophies or topics?
Yeah, absolutely. I think growing up, I was more liberal than I was conservative.
Okay.
Right,
Yeah.
so I had liberal views. I was, you know, when you're young, you think like that, very free and stuff, and I still think sort of like that. But yeah, so we'd always clash. My dad had to have the hardcore. He's Muslim. He grew up through like 2 wars, dealt with 9/11, pretty set in his ways. So he's got pretty hardcore like right views.
Mm-hmm.
But then the funny thing is, my dad's also not like, he's not dumb. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
part of me thought he was trolling.
What do you mean?
When I was younger, like they should have some rights. Like my dad had very that's an inside joke, but he had very
Something like
similar
that.
views.
Okay.
You know.
Uh-huh.
But now that my dad's much older and I think wiser, he also is less. Maybe Trump had something to do with it, but he's also very less conservative than he used to be.
I see. So
He's less conservative than my mom, who is pretty liberal, or was. You know, throughout, like I always thought she was very liberal.
okay. So back then, if your father was like, let's say this is the middle.
Let's just say we knew nothing about the two people, and one was a Republican. My dad would just vote for him.
Okay.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter if he said Al Qaeda is the best or some shit. As long as it said Republican, it was a red donkey by his name. He would just click that
okay.
button.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
This was back then.
yeah, that was back then.
So then now,
Now he's much more open and free in his thinking.
I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I think.
So now, would it be harder for him to choose which one now, like the donkey or the elephant?
Yeah, I think so.
It'll be harder for him. To
Yeah,
choose.
I think before it was just a clear. Like I said, it didn't matter what the guy, what anything.
Okay.
It's just as long as he had that little red donkey, he knew that those are the values that he
Okay, I see.
liked.
I see.
But I think also religion played a big part because it typically, the conservatives are more religious.
yeah.
Right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah. They hold more religious tradition.
More exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that played a big part for my dad.
Mm.
And then the rights thing was a big one for him too. That they should have some rights.
Yeah.
But I think that's just being growing up in an Islamic country and you're taught to kind of be homophobic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Is he like, I guess, accepting now?
I think it's
Kinda.
big enough where he can't control it anymore. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
I think there's a point where like conservatives are like, maybe we can stop this shit.
Yeah.
But now it's just way out of hand.
I feel it.
Yeah, dude.
Dang. So we talked about middle school. We talked about high school. University.
Oh yeah.
University. San Jose. Yeah. How did you like it? How did you like it throughout your career?
I loved it. I love I loved it, dude. Like San Jose State was amazing. But with that said, my freshman year was probably the hardest year of my life.
Why?
one, I was away from my family.
Mm-hmm.
I lived like in a little shed, so that part was kind of whack. But being away, so my first time being away from my family, and for the most part, my mom did most of the cleaning and the cooking and took care of the household, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now I had to do my own laundry. I was having to cook for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I had to wake up on time every day,
Mm-hmm.
make it to school, come back, do my work, and then do all that without my family, which I'm very close with. Like, my brother and I are really good friends.
Mm-hmm.
My mom and I have a really great relationship. So those are kind of like my friends. So not being able to see them all the time really got to me.
I see.
And then take all that and the fact that now I have this intense course load, right? Because it's like you're a freshman, you're going to school, you're doing what I just said. Plus now you got to assimilate to like this new culture, and everyone's like very liberal and very liberating, and it was just hard. But I think when I got past that, when I was able to deal with that, it helped me grow a lot. And then I really enjoyed San Jose State. I enjoy the fact that you and I, we like to wake up late, but we just take late classes, you know?
Late classes,
There's
yeah.
always like a workaround.
Right.
You don't want to do this, you do that. You don't like this, you do that. And it was never like that in high school. Middle school is always, they gave you a sheet and you're like, oh, I guess these are the classes I have this year.
Right.
So I thought that was really cool. And then I thought San Jose itself, it's so funny being like living in California, but only staying in this area. Like, I've been at, you take vacations here and there, but it was the first time I actually had gone to San Jose outside of going to the flea market once or twice. I never had been to San Jose, but I know Silicon Valley, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, Silicon Valley business, like this is it.
Business, tech, that atmosphere.
That atmosphere, and that was what I was going for. Looking back, I should have just gone to East Bay.
How come?
Because the drives were brutal.
Oh, yeah.
So after I lived there. I lived in San Jose for 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and rent just kept going up, and fast food kept staying the same. So
yeah.
So
Okay.
I couldn't afford it anymore, and then I just ended up taking that fast food money, getting a car, or just buying a car and paying payments, and just driving to school.
How long did you do that for? How many semesters?
So I did that for 3 years. So 2 years, it took me like 5 years. It took me like 4.5 years to finish school. So 2 years I lived there, and then for 2.5 years.
Okay. Oh, so you went from Mount and went straight to
I went straight to
San Jose.
San Jose.
Gotcha.
Shout out to that gentleman, the counselor from
counselor.
earlier in our conversation.
That's dope.
Yeah, dude.
And you majored in MIS, right?
Yes, and the only reason why I did that is because my brother-in-law did that,
Oh, okay.
and I didn't know any better.
Oh, so you were like, oh, if he did it, let me try that. Were you like that?
Yeah, and okay, one thing about me, I don't know if you're, I'm indecisive as hell.
Oh, I didn't. I
Bro.
don't think so.
Like, my parents hated taking me to the GameStop or taking a bet because we would sit there literally, this is not a joke, for an hour and just, should I get this and get that? Or should... And I think a lot of that stems from, like, poverty. Because in my mind, it was like, if I buy this game and it sucks, I'm stuck with this game forever.
Forever, yeah.
You know what I mean?
For however long, right?
For however until we get the next game, which is probably going to be in 6 months to a year. So that was always my logic, and then I think that just stuck around because then I always started to overthink things. So with that, I was like, I can sit here, take a bunch of stupid GE classes that I don't want to take, or I can just say screw it, take MIS. My brother-in-law's making good money, and just do that. And I did that.
Okay.
And I hated it. If you guys I hated it.
You hated the classes?
I hated everything about my major.
Can you explain to me? What is MIS? It's
Yes.
I know it's Management Information Systems.
Yes.
But what
So
is that?
that's sort of an umbrella term, right? Because that could be anything. But what it focuses on is primarily the IT side of business and the IS side, the information side of business. So what that means is either dealing with IT, which you already know what that is, or dealing with the information systems or databases.
Okay. Okay.
So there's two routes to go there.
Okay.
And what that entails basically, or what that means is you learn SQL and you learn database management and you go that route, or you do IT for big corporations and you help them with rollouts and you help them with hardware.
So which route did you pick, or did you have to learn both of?
You learn all of it.
Oh, all of it. Okay.
You learn all of it, then you choose yourself. I So I didn't go that route. I got my major and then I went into sales.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I remember, you went to a startup. You working at a startup?
Yeah, so I was working at so actually I started working at Instacart first.
Instacart.
But that wasn't for sales.
Oh, what was that?
That was just to get my name in the door. So I was part of the sales team. I was part of the business development team,
Mm-hmm.
but I was doing the customer support for them.
Oh,
Specifically for that team.
Okay.
And then I leveraged that to go into another company. I don't want to name their names because I don't like that company, but we helped sell point of sales to restaurants.
Okay.
So and the reason why that was so that caught my attention was because my family has a restaurant background.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, since I was a kid, my dad owned one, and then after he sold it, two of my uncles bought restaurants, and we would go there. And so I always had an understanding of restaurants and the people that own them.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, this is a job for me, blah, blah, blah. And it was a great job. Crappy company.
Then you went to another company?
Then I went to a startup.
Oh, shoot.
Then
okay.
I went to a startup.
Oh, wow. So Instacart, another company, and then
A startup. Yeah, and
Okay.
then that startup was also a point of sale company.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sell to some. You is it the same Is it the same thing how you were to sell to restaurants or?
It's same clients actually. Because
dang.
we're selling a very similar system. Maybe a little bit less advanced than the company that I was working at beforehand, but it was very similar.
Okay.
Yeah, and I found a knack for the restaurant industry. It comes down to connecting, right? And I know how to connect with that type of person.
Okay.
So that helped me a lot.
Wait, so the startup and the company before, were you in sales for both?
For both, yeah.
Okay, so you had to sell whatever product to your client or whatever. Or
Yes and no. So
How did
it's
that
two
work?
parts. So you can either bring in clients,
Okay. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You're drumming sales. You're going out and you're trying to bring in people to the company.
Like luring them or whatever.
Yeah, it's called leads, right?
Leads,
You
mhm.
find leads,
Mhm.
and then you bring them in, and you tell them, "Hey, listen, we got this product. I think it fit your needs. I'd love to get you with one of our sales rep."
Gotcha.
So I did that, and then become the sales rep.
Oh, that was you.
Yeah, for a part of my job, that was me.
Okay.
Drumming up business, bringing them on, and then getting them demoed and booked with one of our salespeople, or we call them specialists.
Mm.
And it was their job to do two things. It was to show them the product.
Mm-hmm.
It's called a demo. You give them a little demo, and then you try to close them on it.
Wait, this is your job or the seller?
The
seller,
at
right?
first, that wasn't my job. Yeah, that was the seller job.
Okay.
And then I eventually did that.
Ooh, dang.
Yeah.
Which one was easier?
Being the first one is called an SDR. An SDR is easier,
Mm-hmm.
technically,
Mm-hmm.
but you also don't get paid as much. Because the only convincing you're doing is you're selling them on an appointment. You know what I mean?
That's true.
There's no money involved.
Yeah.
And then when the money gets involved, that's when you hear that I'll call you back. I don't know what we don't know our budget. I don't know how the timeline's looking. There's a million little things, right? Little details you got to work out. But yeah, I didn't use my MIS degree at all.
Is there any relation with MIS and sales and that area that you were doing?
No, not necessarily, but salespeople have a sales engineer. So the sales engineer, their job is to do a couple of things. One is to help the salespeople understand the jargon,
Okay.
and also help the clients understand the jargon.
Okay. Okay.
And then two, it's to teach us the new like, let's say, features and stuff. So they're intermediary for our actual like support team and development team, right? They'll create the new software, and then this engineer will come and talk to us and show us how to utilize it, how to learn it, and then how to try to sell it.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
I could have went that route.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then after the startup,
Startup is no. I've been unemployed since the startup.
Gotcha. Okay.
But that's because I've been, trying to start my own thing.
Yeah. Okay. Going back to sales, and what was the other one? SDR.
SDR.
Do you have like an example of either sales or SDR? Like do you have, how should I put this, like an example of how you would either lure the client or trying to sell a product to the client? Do you have like an example?
Yeah, and I don't think luring is the right word, because if you're luring any client, they're probably not going to buy it.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
There have been times
The right word should be how should, instead of lure, it's like more like
I would convince is a better word, but I'd say
okay.
what I would do is, and my whole thing was to try to find clients that actually needed our product.
Okay.
So because what you're trying to do is
selling a solution to their problem.
that's all you're trying to do is you're trying to sell
Okay.
the solution. But I would say if you want like an example, my typical phone call, you either go on Google or Yelp
Okay.
and try to find restaurants. So let me take a step back. So if we weren't selling to restaurants and I was selling to businesses, I'd go on LinkedIn Navigator. I'd find somebody, maybe the purchasing manager or maybe somebody in the department that we would work for, and I try to connect with them and then try to get them on a call. But because these are restaurants and they're not necessarily on LinkedIn, you're going on Google, you're going on Yelp, and you're literally just cold calling.
Dang. Okay.
Asking them if there's what we call qualification questions, right? There's a list of qualification questions that you want to basically know: do they have a current contract with a point of sale? How many point of sales do they need? What's their timeline looking like? And then you don't ask for budget because in the case of the first company I worked for, our product was actually very expensive. So a price was never brought up on my end because I didn't want to scare them prematurely.
Yeah.
I'm trying to learn as much as I can about them, create a picture of who they are, and then using that information, being like, hey, listen, like we can help you here and there. 1 or 2 points. Like, I'm not going to be like, and I can help this and I can do this and I'll bring in more up. Because then they're like, that just sounds like bull.
Yeah.
Well, you pick 1 or 2 things and you say, hey, I'd love to talk more to you about this. I have a specialist who actually can go over this and see if it would work for you. Let me know a good time that works for you. I don't ask them if they're down for it, right? Let me know a good time.
Right. Okay.
You figure out a time. Hey, I can't do it today. Oh, you can't do it today. I get that. Well, I'm free anytime this whole week. Do you think we can do something on Friday? Well, I got to get back to you. Okay, well, if the second time, okay. Well, what if I give you a call back on Friday and then or on Monday, I'll give them the weekend off and we'll go from there. But the whole thing was just trying to find people that actually wanted it, because the worst thing to do is to bring someone on that doesn't give a crap about it. Because you're wasting everyone's time.
Everyone's time. Okay, I see.
But I will say, I have been, and I'm sure other salespeople have been guilty of, end of the month, you got to meet your quota. And that's when you lure someone in.
That's right.
And that's a different charm, but you try not to do that.
You try. Okay.
Yeah, because you don't make money off of that.
Yeah. Okay. How about as a seller? Do you have any? Because what you just told me right now, is that more SDR type of stuff?
That's 100% SDR.
So then, as a seller, do you have, I guess, strategies or tricks or tips of how to sell something to someone? Like, do you have a process?
Yes, I think the main takeaway as like being a seller, being an AE, is to understand your client.
Okay.
Because I say that, look, as an SDR, your whole job is to learn about the company, right? Learn about them, do all this. You're doing this over a 15-minute phone call or less. And I give this information to the salesperson.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
they have very limited knowledge of the company. But they also don't want to rehash the last 15 minutes of the phone call with the client, because that's annoying.
Yeah.
So you do your best to use the information you have, and then again, pick 1 or 2 points and focus on that. When I was an AE, so when I was a salesperson, I would look at the notes and be like, oh, okay, so one of the things like for the point of sales, one of the big things was having the ability for your employees to clock in and clock out. So do payroll right on your point of sale. So I'd see that. Philip is interested in payroll.
Okay.
I'd be like, hey, Phil, blah, 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 a little bit of chit chat. so how do you currently go about your payroll? And then you tell me, so we have timesheets, I'm stamping it. Geez, I bet that takes a lot of time, and I'm sure it's kind of messy because employees don't really care that much about the business as much as you do. Am I right? Like, yeah, dude, I put my life saving into this. Like, I know, and then, so, you know what I do? I'm working him a little bit,
gotcha,
little by
okay.
little. And then I show them how we do it. All you do is you have your employee click and clock out. And
So,
like,
so you're basically showing how your product or your solution is much more better, or it's more efficient than whatever they have.
yes, and I think the main key takeaway that I keep saying this is to focus on one or two things. When I first started, I saw it, bro. I'd be like, oh, and it does, like, for example, it does the payroll, and you can calculate your taxes, and then you can see how many items you sold. And the guy didn't care about any of that shit. You know what I mean? You have to know what Philip cares about.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
Because like when your family buys a car, they don't check every single spec to make sure it has this engine and it has these tires and it needs to have these. There's a couple things your parents might want. They want a luxury car. They want a comfortable car. They want good gas mileage. You capitalize on that.
I see. So that's what you do, or that's what
salespeople
good
do.
salespeople. Okay, gotcha.
Because I used to not have any sales. Because I used to do that. I used to just spew shit just to... I said that, yeah, you told me that feature, and I said it.
Yeah.
And it never worked. Like, okay, well, we'll call you back.
Dang.
Never called me back.
Was it harder being a salesperson or the SDR?
It's harder to be a salesperson, I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, just because you got to do more work, and you got to sell them, and there's always going to be money's going to always be brought up. You got to sit there and you got to figure that out. You got to work with your sales ops team. It's a lot more work.
ABC always be closing.
Always be closing.
Dang. Yeah, I think. I think in business overall, I think to me one of the hardest, I would say, is sales. It's like, dang, like you really have to be on top of that, like when you're communicating with a client.
Yeah.
Right. Like you kind of gotta be quick too.
You got to be super witty.
And witty, like, dang, I'm not really like that.
No, you're actually really good at that.
That's why I'm like more into advertising marketing, because we're like this is from what I've
marketing feeds leads to us.
it feeds you guys.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a bit different, but I feel like sales, it's like you guys are like to me you guys are like the soldiers, you know?
Yeah, I would say so.
Like
we're the front line.
The front line, yeah.
And the worst part is, as soon as stuff starts to go bad, they start blaming sales. That's the first thing. What is sales doing wrong? Why is our numbers low?
Right.
And that becomes an issue because a lot of times it's not just sales. Sometimes it's expectations that are set too high. Right? It's, for example, being at the company who, the one I was working for, we were sort of established 10 years ago. 10 years ago, we were the biggest company. We're the first company to introduce point of sales to the new market. But that technology has since gotten old. You know what I mean? Right. Everyone's caught up. When everyone catches up, it becomes a problem. Now, instead of trying to maintain what we have and grow at a steady state, they're still trying to do startup numbers, which is very, very, very unlikely, given the fact that we don't have those, like other companies that are starting up can give tons of incentives because they're trying to grow. Well, we're done with that phase of our lives, but we're still pushing like we are in that stage. So having bad expectations is bad. But yeah, going back to what you said, sales is usually the first one to take the blame for that.
Right. And I gotta hand it to sales. Like, I mean, like at the end of the day, if you're not selling, right, what happens to the company, right?
Yeah, we are the front line. The one of the bad things about sales is when it hits, and when it doesn't, it doesn't. Like the highs and the lows are real. You know what I mean? I've had months where I want like our goal was to try to get like as an SDR, your goal is to try to bring in 30 clients to do demos
A month?
a month,
Dang.
and sometimes I'd have 50 and I make a really fat paycheck.
Has there been a time where you didn't reach that?
Yeah, and then there's other times where
Like-
you don't reach, and then you're freaking depressed. And you're like, they're gonna fire me this month, and I'm not getting paid this month, and there's a million little thoughts.
So yeah, what happens if you don't meet that quota?
Well, so if you don't meet that constantly, you're out. There's no. But if you if you do once, what am I trying to say? Like if 1 month you have a bad month, it's not a big deal.
What if it's like 2 months in a
2
row?
months you're gonna hear from them. If it's 3 months,
Yeah, you're okay.
yeah,
Dang. Cutthroat business, huh?
it's cutthroat.
Sales.
But it's when it hits, it hits. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dang. So I mean, so looking back then, would you have majored in MIS if you were
No.
no, if you
No.
were able to redo it?
Or to redo it. My original thing was to go into to become a registered nurse.
Oh dang!
Yeah.
For real.
That was what I wanted to do.
Whoa.
If that didn't pan out, I wanted to go into psychology and get my master's.
So I can see something.
I really like psychology, but my mom thought both of those majors were for women. This is going back to like the old ideologies
okay.
of like Islam and like where
I
they've
see.
come up from. She said no. She vetoed those. She said hell no. Like my son's not going to be a nurse. That's a woman's position. But nurses make $129 an hour now. I'm sure she's like I fucked up there.
I mean, a friend that we know down the street.
Yes,
he's making
Good money?
I asked him, hey, so yeah, like how much? I don't know how it got brought up, but basically I said something like in the lines of like how much you make or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was like, if I were to work like constantly, no breaks, no vacations, yearly, I can go higher than 120 a year.
Damn.
I'm like, dang.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And is he a registered nurse?
RN. Yeah.
RN. Yeah. Right out of like as soon as you get your RN, bro, you make tons. Like you make good money.
Yeah.
But also you help people.
You help people as well. Yeah.
So it's beneficial to you and to others.
So then, does that mean that you really like human anatomy and all that science as well?
So at the very core of it, I like psychology.
Oh, okay.
That's my favorite.
Okay.
But for me, being a nurse was literally it was about the two things I just said. It was about helping people and making good money.
And good money. Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't on some like super utilitarian like I'm doing it because I love to help people. I also understood that the
money's coming in.
was really good.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that played a big role into it. But I did MIS, did it for my parents. If you guys are listening and you're young, I don't know if you are. Don't do that. Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
It's probably for the best.
Do you have like for either middle school, high school, or college or university students? Do you have like advice for current and future students?
Yeah, I think I'm old. I'm almost 30, guys. So I think I can kind of answer this.
Okay, go ahead.
I took life very seriously. I took everything very literally. I don't think you should do that, especially when you're young. You've got plenty of time. Don't be an idiot. Don't do dumb shit. Don't do stuff that will put you or jeopardize you or your life or the people around you. But also have fun with it, because there's plenty of time to work. There's plenty of time to make money. It'll eventually come. Enjoy your youth. It's very short lived, and yeah, make the best of it.
For sure. I mean, yeah, like you said, yeah, it's a balance, right?
It's a balance.
It's
Life's
a
a
balance.
balance.
Do your shit, but at the same time, have fun, right?
Have fun. Don't stress. Because look, I've stressed a lot in my life. It only leads to one thing, and that's more stress. That's it. If you sit there and you stress for an hour, it's not like magically the things just fix themselves. Like, oh, there you go. Okay, my life's back on track. That's not how it works. Meditation. If you, as corny as that sounds, meditate. You'll like it. It helps a lot.
Do you yourself meditate as well?
Yeah, but I, to be completely honest with you, I haven't meditated in probably a year. But I can tell, bro. Like in this last year, I've gained a ton of weight. I have been slacking off. like been lazy. I think meditation helps me a lot. I'm 90% sure I have ADHD. So for me, my brain is sporadic. One of the things it helps me do is it calms it.
Mm-hmm.
And that helps a lot, especially when I'm like, bugging, when I'm worried. It helps calm it.
Would you ever try to get that officially diagnosed that you have
ADHD?
Yeah.
Yeah, but for what though? I don't need someone to tell me what I think I already have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe if I decided if I wanted to do it just because I want my label to be changed or whatever, maybe.
Right. Okay.
But no, I have no desire in telling
okay.
someone to do it.
Yeah, I feel it.
Would you does that matter, like making sure the label's right? Or
I mean, I'm pretty sure I have something.
yeah.
I'm on the spectrum or something like that. But I mean, yeah, that takes time. It takes
Effort, money, and a lot of therapy.
And then what if they do find something, and then now they have to bring me to this facility? Like, oh dang.
Or what if you thought you had ADHD and then it's worse?
Yeah.
You have some
right?
crazy shit, something that they never seen before.
Right.
That would scare the crap out of me.
Dang. You have hi. Actually, you have COVID Ultra Max.
Exactly.
I'm like, what?
It's the first case of ADHD. Oh damn.
ADHD plus.
ADHD plus, bro. If I had that, it's game over.
Dang.
But yeah, no, I don't think a diagnosis matters. I think when I say, because I said I'm into psychology, I think it's more understanding the psyche of someone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For example, actually it's a great example, somebody that wants to have that label,
Okay.
there's a reason for that.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's people in this world who a label means a Mercedes means, or you know what I mean? A Lexus is way more valuable than a Toyota is, even though at the end of the day they're made at the same plant.
Right. It's just they want that status.
The status.
Yeah.
For example, or some people don't care. Some people don't care. They don't even want a Toyota. They want a used piece of junk.
Right.
Because it just doesn't matter to them. And I think that is what intrigues me about people. Is their thought process and I see that. Oh, she has a shit ton of makeup. Oh, I see why.
So if you went to psychology, would it be like clinical psychology? Would it be some other type of psychology? Would it be like counseling? Well, what type of psychology would you have done? Like in a clinic, in a hospital, or in a school setting, or what type of psychology?
I think, I never thought about school setting. That would be really cool to get in young with the kids. And I one of the things I do love is talking with kids, especially like my nieces and nephews. Because same thing, as a kid you see so as an adult you see people's problems like we were just talking about, and like a Mercedes makes them happy, but you see that in kids too. It's an early on process where you pick it up like, oh, okay, I can see my niece is kind of humble, she's very chill, and I think when she grows up she'll be like that.
I see.
And then I see my nephew, and I see like somebody who's a little bit more spazzy, somebody who's a little bit more ADHD, and then I see his personality. He loves video games.
Okay.
He loves just chilling by himself. Like, you see the personality sort of brewing and sort of growing and maturing.
You can see their future self.
Yes, which is really cool.
Okay, I see.
But for me to answer your question, it was always like clinical and it always for me would be like working at a hospital.
Okay.
Hopefully, getting your master's or PhD, and doing it like on a psychiatry level.
I mean, yeah, I was always fascinated with psychology.
Yeah.
With the study of the mind and the brain and all that. I remember taking a psychology class. It's just a 101 psychology class back at DVC.
Oh wow, okay.
And then we learned like psychology in general, and throughout that course, I was just fascinated.
It's really like I took psychology 101 too. It's very fascinating. We're talking about Pavlo, talking about who's the other one? The sex one.
Yeah.
The basic needs dude. I forget what the fuck his name is.
Oh, isn't that Maslow's hierarchy of needs?
Is that? Oh yeah, yeah.
But the other one you were talking, the famous one,
The famous one, Freud. It says
Freud.
Sigmund Freud.
Sigmund Freud. Yeah.
Yes.
Did you guys talk about Jung?
Yes, Carl Jung.
Carl. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Okay.
But
I
see,
see.
like they approach psychology with like as like a math equation, as like a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I never look at it like that, and that doesn't very intrigues me, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the human psychology broken down into like the most basic form
Mm-hmm.
that always intrigues me.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That shit's really interesting.
Yeah. In my classes and in San Jose, the advertising classes, there's a little bit of psychology there too, because of the target audience.
Yeah, it's a big part.
Psychographics, demographics, that type of psychology too. Like I was like pretty fascinated.
Your
as well.
major is technically a social science, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's technically it's more psychology
than
like something else would be.
like biology or something like that.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, you actually advertisement plays a big role because you want to like at the end of the day, what marketing is understanding your audience
Right.
and how better to do that than through psychology.
Right. Yeah.
I never thought of that.
Yeah. The classes I had, we reviewed, just targeting audiences, how the more you understand your audience, the better outcome it would be for the advertiser or the marketer. Right.
Dang.
Like you wanna target as much as possible, because you can target everyone, but at the end of the day, to target everyone means that you have an infinite amount of money, and you don't have an infinite that money.
Yes.
And then you look at these companies as big as Apple, Google, Microsoft, they still have a target audience. So
Everyone, I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, a business only works if you have an intended target audience, right?
Right, yeah.
You can never, outside of Sriracha, so it seems like they're dominating, well, not Sriracha, what's that brand, Hung Fu? You know what I'm talking about, the Sriracha everyone buys.
Yeah.
It feels like they're the only company that has no competition, but everyone else, you gotta find your target market, right? Apple is going for like the classy people, Microsoft is going for the masses, Linux is going for the nerds. Like, there's always gonna be
a target.
And there's always gonna be a product for it.
Even like between Pepsi and Coca-Cola,
Yes.
even though they're both soda brands, like both of them, they still target different audiences. Funny enough,
Really?
right?
You know who Pepsi targets?
Pepsi is more younger
Really?
generation. Coca-Cola, they're more like the age of like 24 to 34.
Okay. People that have a little bit more money.
Yeah.
You know,
Still young, but the older
the older of the young.
Yes.
Yeah.
From what I was told and from what I've researched, that's how Coca-Cola and Pepsi
work.
Yeah.
Oddly enough, I was looking into it because there's a sale on soda at Safeway here. One of the things I noticed, and I think everyone knows this, Pepsi has like a couple more grams of sugar than Coke does for the sweetness. But what I didn't know, which is crazy, is Pepsi has a lot more caffeine than Coke does. So not only is sugar addictive, but so is caffeine.
I would say yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So they're doing, I don't know if they're doing that to compete or to do what, but they're definitely going for it. They're targeting people who probably have more of a addictive personality.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, between Coke and Pepsi, what do you like more?
Oh, Coke Zero is my favorite drink.
Coke Zero. Okay.
Yeah, Coke Zero is my favorite drink.
How about like the other brands of them? Like Coke has Sprite, Pepsi has
whoever owns A&W root beer. If you guys are listening to this and you like soda, and you like zero sodas, go get A&W Zero.
Oh dang,
bro, that's a game changer. No caffeine, so you can drink it at night.
So it's really that good?
It's really that good.
Wow.
But I think 7-Up might own it. I don't know.
Oh, 7-Up.
But see, also the Yum, there's A&W. They have like restaurants.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And that's owned by Yum Brands, which is owned by Pepsi.
Yum Brands?
Yum Brands. So they own Taco Bell, KFC, Pizza Hut,
right.
Pepsi, all that stuff.
Oh yeah. They're their own. They're their own company.
Yum Brands is.
Yeah, YUM, right?
YUM.
with the
Smiley face.
yeah.
Yeah, but so that brand owns a bunch of small companies. One of the companies is A&W's restaurant.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if they own it or 7-Up
I
owns it.
see.
I don't know. But I also know ginger ale's pretty good too. Since we're on that subject.
Yeah.
That Canadian dry.
You know, over the years, not so recently, but maybe like 2014, 2015, 2016, I started to like Dr. Pepper.
Oh, Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, before that,
DDP. Hey, Dr. Pepper.
before that, like high school, 2011, 2012, I didn't really like the taste of Dr. Pepper, the regular, typical.
Yeah.
And then later on, I tasted it again. I'm like, you know what? This actually is. It tastes pretty good now to me.
I'm backwards. I used to like it.
Now you hate it.
I don't hate it. Now I don't care for it anymore.
Oh, you don't
know?
care? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't care for it. But root beer, on the other hand, like I'm crazy about root beer.
I need to retry root beer again.
Yeah.
Because I haven't tried it in a long time.
Really,
Yeah, it's been years.
bro.
Root beer. Root beer.
Root beer.
Like yeah, it's been
Non-alcoholic. You know, just the good old.
It's been a while.
Damn. Yeah.
So I need
A&W.
A&W. Okay.
Surprisingly, I mean, and I'm sure there's like fancy schmancy ones and stuff,
Yeah.
but just get the cheap stuff. I think you'll be fine.
For sure. I mean, we've been talking for how long? 2 hours?
Let's see. What is the 2 hours?
Dang.
Like nothing.
I mean, is there anything else you would like to say? Because I know, you're running a tight shift and all
Yeah,
that.
dude, I gotta get back. You know, I got money to make.
Or we can keep going, or you want to end it. It's up to you. The pizza's getting cold.
Pizza's getting cold. Did you hit all your subject points?
I think so. Yeah. Our history, middle school, high school, San Jose, sales.
What you got?
Or last one.
Okay.
You were saying to me, you were actually telling me Eid Mubarak.
Eid Mubarak.
I know that that is like a greeting, right? Eid Mubarak. Or it's either, to me, from what I've learned, it's either a greeting or it means like a feast.
So no, what Eid Mubarak means?
Or I'm messing it up.
Not really, in a sense. So Mubarak just means like congrats, right? So or happy, like happy Eid or happy Christmas.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like Merry
Yeah.
Christmas. It's the
Right.
same thing.
Okay.
That's all it is. So Mubarak just means like it's a congratulatory like phrase. Yes.
Gotcha.
So Eid Mubarak is just but what Eid is, and we actually, funny enough, because it's Eid right now. Philip and I were talking about it over on Instagram. Eid is just a celebration, the way Christmas would be a celebration for like Catholics or Christians.
Mhm.
It is for Muslims. The weird thing is, one of them comes after Ramadan, which to the American world, Ramadan is that time where we fast, but Ramadan is a month in the Islamic calendar. And in that month, that's when we do that fasting. So we look at it as a fasting thing here, but it's literally just a month. So after that month ends is one of them, the Eids, and that's and that's the one that's the celebratory one. And then there's another one the one that's right now.
Yes. What is this one?
This one is tied to one of the prophets. I don't want to misquote myself, so I'm not going to say what, but it's tied more to religion.
Gotcha. It's tied to religion. How about the first one? It's not tied to religion?
It is tied to religion, but it's more so to do. So because Ramadan, that month of Ramadan is about, the whole thing about Ramadan and the reason why we fast is to understand the pain of the people who don't have anything.
So you guys are like trying to sacrifice, trying to remember.
Try to get back, try to understand the baseline of what life could be like.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know what I mean? For most people, they live in those kind of conditions where you might not always have that option to eat or drink. So you just want to, take 1 month and be like, yo, you got 11 other months. Just know your life is pretty freaking good. Don't take it for granted.
Right.
After you do that, there's a celebration that comes with it. We've done that for 30 days. let's celebrate, let's see our family, let's have fun.
Okay.
This one there's a religious connotation to it, and it ties back to one of the prophets and some story in the Quran.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so that's what this celebration is for.
With this celebration, is it as a big celebration as the first one?
It is. It's even bigger.
Oh,
It's more. Is it Abraham, the one that had to kill his son, but then it turned out to be like a lamb or something?
Yeah.
It's based on that. It's,
Oh, dang! It's okay.
Yeah, it's
okay,
based on
okay, Okay.
yeah.
And then the angel was like, "Hold up, bruh.
Exactly.
You're good. He's good.
He's good. We'll just turn him into a sheep or something.
What was it? Was it Gabriel, or was it? I'm forgetting.
Gabriel was the angel that came down, right?
I'm forgetting which angel now. Who said,
Okay.
"Hold up, bruh. You good?" I
Yeah.
forgot who said that.
But it was definitely Moses as the prophet, right? That was gonna do like a beheading or something because God asked him. Was it No, it was Abraham.
Well, yeah, wasn't it Abraham?
Abraham, not Moses.
I don't. I just know Moses like
No, he split the Red Sea.
split the Red Sea.
No, it was Abraham. You're right.
Make my people. I mean, he was trying to fight the.
We're not gonna mention that word. Remember?
Okay. Yeah.
He's fighting the opposition. No, but technically he was fighting. Was he fighting slave owners?
I forget the term. He was the Pharaoh.
It was a pharaoh.
Yeah. He was like, nah, let my people go, or whatever.
Let my people go. And
I
he
don't know.
split that shit.
He split that. Cause I mean, it's like the same background, right? Like the Old Testament,
Technically.
the Old Testament of the Bible, the Torah and the Quran has like almost the same background, right?
It's all Abrahamic based.
Yeah, Abrahamic based. Yeah.
Yes.
For even Adam. Do you guys
Yes.
have Adam and Eve?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I think.
No, for sure we do.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
for sure we do. I think the basis of the religion is the same.
Right.
There's just different ways to go about it.
Right. Okay. You know, a friend of mine, he was telling me about Bible accurate angels.
What do you mean by that?
Like, you know how the angels that we see in mainstream society, like
Yeah.
like the baby, like Valentine or whatever, that type of angel, like it's like sweet and cuddling.
Yeah.
But then if you actually look at like an accurate rendition of an angel based on, I guess, the Old Testament or whatever, it's pretty kind of scary looking.
Really?
Yeah. Is there something similar like that in the Quran, in Islam? Like there's an accurate depiction of an angel.
No, and one of the big things about Islam is like we don't depict anything.
Right. Yeah. Okay, gotcha.
That takes away from God or the power that God has, you know? So, no, but I know for a fact that not for a fact, I know that from what I understand, angels are like how we portray like the Valentine one. They're like, cuddly, cute, and good.
Yeah. They're trying to sell it.
Yes, same.
Right,
Yeah, exactly. Never on some
Yeah.
scary stuff.
Yeah.
What about jinns? You know about jinns?
You told me about this back in the day, but now I'm forgetting what jinns are.
Yeah, so in Islam, we believe, I don't want to say we believe, in Islam they believe
Okay.
that there's humans on this planet,
Okay.
and then there's jinns on this planet.
Okay.
And jinns are they're a different being or a different life form. They show themselves when they want to.
These are not angels.
These are not angels. They're not bad. They're not good. They're just. We're here as humans. You know how we have good humans and bad humans, and Muslim and Christian and agnostic humans. Same thing with jinns. There's good. There's bad. There's religious. There's non-religious. They're just a different thing. But trying to break that down, because I think a lot of curiosity, and I think a lot of us when you hear because it tends to be scary, right? You think, oh shoot, there's another being life form here, but we can't see them unless they show themselves.
Right.
Trying to do research. There's not a lot about it. Back in the day, I think before we knew what psychology was and what mental health was, somebody would get possessed and they would think that was a jinn.
Right. I see.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just another life form. It's pretty interesting. I think you guys should go and look into it. But
Are jinns significant in the Quran in Islam?
so they're mentioned. There's a verse. It says whatever it says, and it says among men and among jinns. So it means it there could be religious technically, right? Because they're also being included in the text.
Gotcha. Dang.
Now, I've never seen one that I think, but I know that they're part of the religion.
You know, I remember back in the day you were telling me not to put you weren't advising me, but you were telling me how if you put
I already know it's gonna be funny. But what?
You know,
I was so scared back then.
you know how us when we sleep, when we wake up from sleep, right, in the morning or whatever.
Yeah.
We have stuff in our eyes.
Yeah.
If you get that stuff from a dog and you put it in,
I remember that, and then you can see the jinns
or something like that.
Yes, no. So I do remember that shit. They would tell us stupid stories like that where
It's not true.
I don't think it's true.
Okay,
But back then, you're a kid. You're malleable. You don't know any better.
Okay. I
Scare
see.
the crap. Yeah. So
I thought this was part of
like the religion.
Yeah.
No. Okay. First of all, doing anything to harm jinns or mess with jinns is witchcraft. So it's against Islam.
Okay.
You're not supposed to fuck with them.
Okay. You're not supposed to mess with the jinns.
Yes,
Gotcha.
You're just supposed to know that they exist.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
But then if you do, there's a part of it's not a part of Islam, but Islam talks about witchcraft and dark arts. It's called dark arts, secret arts.
See,
And that's a lot of people believe in witchcraft and things like that, where you can put the dog thing in your eyes and then you can see the jinns. Or so there's a big thing that people do, and now they realize that it's schizophrenia. But you go into a secluded area, you don't eat, and you don't eat or drink for the whole month. All you do is you pray, and every day you pray, you make a circle around you. So start with a small circle, the next day you make it a little bit bigger. It's backwards. You start big, you keep making it small to the point where you get to a small one, and then you only stay there. But now you haven't ate or slept or drank for 30 days. You're gone into a psychosis, right?
Ooh,
or
okay.
temporary psychosis.
Okay.
And then you think you see things. And obviously, you see things because you're in psychosis.
Yeah.
And then they think that's if you do that and you don't die or you don't commit suicide, the jinns will work for you. And when you have that, you can call upon them. Like, for example, for today, right, you asked me to come do this interview and I was 10 minutes late. But I could have been like, hey, bro, hey, jinns, can you just go mess Philip up? Make him make it take a shit so that I have 30 minutes. Little thing, and they believe that.
I see. Okay.
It's hard to believe now, with technology and everything that we know in today's world, but that was their thought process.
I see. Okay.
It's speaking of that, isn't it interesting how that was less than 3,000 years ago, and we've advanced so much in the last 3,000? What is the next 3 going to look like, or the next 5 or 10 or a million?
Do you think as time goes by, people are believing in religion less and less?
Yeah, definitely.
Until to the point, perhaps, it might be gone.
Yeah, well, I think so.
Do you think that's scary? That someday, only a few people will believe in Islam, in Judaism, in Christianity, in Buddhism, etc.
Yeah, well, to you, and I think, and I can only speak for myself, but I think it's scary for us because we've been brought up in that. And if that's false, then our whole livelihood is false. You know what I mean? And I think that's the scary thought, and I think that's the thought a lot of people have been dealing with recently. But no, losing religion doesn't scare me because I think anything that's meant to be stuck around will stick around. It's what is that goes back to Darwin. You know what I mean? It's gonna survive if it's gonna survive.
Right. If it adapts,
If it can adapt,
it survives. If you can't adapt,
it's extinct.
Extinct, yeah.
Unfortunately.
Going back to Islam, you don't, or I'm assuming, do you do the 5 prayer thing?
Myself?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I pray here and there, but I never pray constantly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that mandatory?
Yeah, it's if you want to be a good Muslim, it's part of the 5 pillars. It is to pray.
Okay.
Yeah, but most people don't tend to pray 5 times a day outside of like, you know, back east in like the countries and stuff. Like here in America, it's very, very rare to find somebody who does pray 5 times a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
That said, I'm not against religion. I'm not against praying. I do find Islamic prayer to be very meditational,
Yeah.
and I think
Yeah.
that's the benefits of it, because especially back then, where a lot of people were like, for example, building the pyramids of Giza. I know that was before Islam, but that's literally all you did for 50 years of your life, and then you died.
Dang.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So you needed a little break.
Yeah.
You need a little way to calm your mind down, relax, and then come back to do what you were doing.
Right.
And I think that's the benefit of prayer.
Have you yourself done it? Like
Yeah,
5?
of course.
Okay. Okay.
I've done it, and I mean during like Ramadan and stuff, we always pray and
five times.
yeah,
Okay.
try to pray 5 times. Like
Okay.
if you can't do it, you have to make it up. You know what I mean? If you can't make the morning one up, then you just do it later. But it's always best to wake up and do it on the time it's prescribed.
What are the times anyway? Generally, I guess.
So it's early morning, so like right
Like
when the
5 or
sun
something?
cracks. Yeah, so
Oh,
like
sure.
5.
Okay.
That's the first one, and then you do another one at noon,
Okay. Okay. Afternoon.
and then you do one in the late afternoon.
Would that be like 3, 4,
Yeah, like 2, 3, 4,
2, 3? Okay.
depending on the day. And then you do one when the sun goes down.
So this would be like 6, 7.
Yeah, and then you do one at night, and then that one usually is like 8 or 9. But then that one is the only one you can stretch out as far as you want.
So like I could.
Anytime before the next one starts in the morning.
Oh, so you can do it like 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. I see.
yeah. But technically, no one would do that because you gotta wake back up at like 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Dang, okay. Nice to know.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
No, I'm glad.
Yeah, this clip could be like Islam education or or
Take it with a grain of salt. though.
or some title.
Educating the ignorance on Islam. I don't know.
Ooh, that's even better.
You like that?
Yeah, and I'll put a thumbnail of
Of the
oh yeah, the moon, the crescent moon, right?
Yes.
So what is that significant to? Like what does that symbol mean?
The moon and the stars?
Like you know how in Christianity it's like the cross, right?
Yeah.
In Islam,
Yes, the moon and the star.
yeah. So what does that?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But it looks cool.
Yeah.
What is the Jewish one? Do you know what their thing is?
Star of David.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. From what I've,
Low key, that's the coolest looking one.
the star. Yeah, yeah.
But we'll leave that subject as is.
I mean, we could extend it if you want.
Boom, boom, boom. No, we won't go there, bro. I'm trying to keep my job.
For sure. And I guess, and then, is this a controversial topic to ask? Like the difference of Sunni and Shia. I know you told me about it, you told me about it, but I just keep forgetting like the main difference of.
The main difference is when the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, passed away. He left Islam with I believe it's his brother-in-law. His name was Ali.
Okay.
So what ended up happening is some Muslims said the Prophet Muhammad, when he passed away, that's where Islam ends.
That's it.
That's it.
So these Muslims are
Known as Sunnis.
Sunnis, okay, and then Shia.
And then Shiites believe that they don't believe the Prophet, or they don't believe that Ali was a prophet, but they believe he's the one that finished Islam. So they put value or importance on him.
I see.
And that's where the differentiation starts. There's
Okay.
bigger differences, but if you ask me what the core difference is,
yeah.
that's what the core
That's
difference
the
is.
core.
Yeah. That said, again, it just becomes segregation. It becomes a way to pit people against themselves.
Yeah.
Pretty
yeah.
stupid, pretty not important.
Right.
But one of the things that the Shias do is when I don't know when it's a special day. They hit themselves. They with chains and stuff.
Is this like tribute?
It's tribute, and
Okay.
I wish I know I'm like the Islamic person, but I wish I knew more. I don't know why they do that. It's probably in respect to Ali.
Okay.
But yeah, they literally beat themselves with whips and stuff, and they have like markings all over their body, over their back.
Well,
Yeah.
have you seen it happening before?
On like the internet. I have
Oh,
family.
okay,
I have
okay.
family that is Shia.
Oh, yeah. Keep going.
No, I was just gonna say I do have them, but it's weird to bring up like I'm never that guy, you know, like to bro, your religion is stupid, or let's talk about it. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I don't care enough, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's never awkward or anything, you know. Never
Okay.
on some I hate you because you're that and my family is this.
So in your family, there are both sides.
Yes. Yeah.
But you guys are still able to function as a family still.
Yeah, because it's the same rules, bro. Like don't bring up politics. Like it doesn't matter
Uh-huh.
if you're both Muslim or whatever.
Right.
Just it's a weird thing. We have so much other things to talk about.
Right.
You know, there's so much other camaraderie and like things we can do. But why would I even bring that up? Why would I
Yeah,
make it a weird, awkwd fucking
situation
for everyone, for every
Right.
party involved?
Has there been a time that it got brought up?
I mean, it comes up, especially when you're like part of a religious family. I'm obviously not as religious as some other people in my family, but I have family that live here in the Bay Area, live in Concord, that wear headscarves and they pray and they teach at mosque, and they're a big part of their lives is the mosque, is Islam. Their businesses they went to, they work in Islam. They work for relief funds. They work for making sure food is stamped with halal.
Right.
So they're a big part of or Islam is a big part of them. And then we have families like mine, or a family like me, or people like us, where we're a lot more free, a lot more laissez-faire. You know, it's like do what you want to do. I still pray, but I don't uphold myself to 5 times a day.
I see.
Things
I
like
see.
that. Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. So going back to the Sunni and Shiite, right? So is that within Islam? Those are the two. Like, there's Islam, and then, like, this is the umbrella.
Yeah.
Under the umbrella, Sunni Shiite.
Yeah. And then you can break it down more.
Oh, okay. So
Yes.
there's even more.
There's more. There's like subsects of
Sunni and subsets of
Shia.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like what mosque you belong to, or what,
Oh, like that.
like Abu Bakr. And there's like all these little, dude. I knew a lot of this, and my parents went over this with me, but I just,
Yeah, I get it.
you know what I mean. I've
Yeah.
stepped away from it, but yeah, dude. There's subsects, and like it goes as small as like when you're praying. There's a part where everyone the imam is going along, and then everyone goes Allahu Akbar. Some people say that, and then some of the subsects don't say it out loud. You just say Allahu Akbar in your head.
In your gotcha.
It's like as small as that, and then they'll be like, oh, he's that, and we're this.
And then because of that, there can be,
There can be problems. There's not always problems.
but there can be, but
There
it's
can
not.
be.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Depends on how petty you are. You know, it helps that alcohol isn't involved in Islam a lot. Because if it was, then probably be a freak show.
Yeah.
You guys already know the story in the Middle East, right? Imagine throwing alcohol in that mix.
Just chaos.
Just
huh?
chaos, dude.
Dang. Okay. I see. And then you already know like how there's different types of denominations of Christianity and all that, right?
Yeah, there's a ton of them. I think the last one is Mormon. Or is there more newer ones?
I think Mormon. Yeah, it's pretty recent. 1800s.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Not Adam Smith.
John Smith?
John Smith. Yeah.
Jacob Smith. John and Jacob. One of those. It's a white ass name.
Yeah, but there's tons of denominations.
You know, oddly enough, Mormons. So one of my uncles, I said, works for like Islamic. He works for an Islamic team, like to raise money for poor countries.
Right.
Mormons are one of the biggest supporters, or Latter-day Saints as they're known.
Right. Oh, you know.
Yeah.
You know. Okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. They're like it's like mission. They're the mission.
Missionary work.
Missionary. Yeah.
Exact Islamic missionaries.
But yeah,
those things that, sorry, not cut you off, but those are things that the government or the media will never tell you.
of
Like the Mormons helping out Muslims.
helping, yeah.
You know what I mean? They want.
Yeah.
They don't want. They don't want.
They
people to know
don't want
that.
to. They don't want to hear that.
Nah.
They want division.
Indivisible.
Indivisible.
Damn.
Make the people blind over here, so we can do stuff over here, right?
Unfortunately, but that's never the case, guys. We know better than that.
At least, well, to me, I hope so.
Yeah, you'd hope so. No, I think most people know.
Mm-hmm.
I think most people know.
For sure. Other than that, my friend, I mean, we've been talking more than 2 hours now. It's always good
Yeah.
to talk with my neighbor, my friend. You know, I don't want to hold you. You know, I mean, for sure we can talk until like nighttime, until the next morning. You know.
This guy and I, bro, have had conversation on the bus for like, let's say 30 minutes. Stepped outside and talked so long that the sun's gone down, and then we only left. Do you remember? Because one of us had to pee.
Yeah.
And it was usually me and I'd be like hopping around, and I just couldn't hold it. But we'd have like 4-hour conversations, and it never felt like that, you know.
Yeah.
And then like, bro, I sit with other people and I dread talking with them.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, but with
Wow.
you, it's just like it's because I can be myself. There's no filter. There's no like X plus Z. Oh, I can't say that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then when the camera's off, we can say
real things, real dirty things.
real dirty. Dang.
But wow, that was fun, man. I'm glad.
I mean, thank you again, resurrecting this channel. Because again, like I said in the beginning, I didn't do any of. I haven't done an episode like this since last year, you know, and I found like some new motivation to do it.
For sure.
And then I'm like, who's the next best guest that would be perfect? And in my head I'm like, wait a minute, he's right across the street, Abodd. Like, come on.
I mean,
Come on.
I hope it was okay. I mean, I don't know. I hope I did okay.
I mean, no, you did perfect. I think like, man, we could talk for like days.
Yeah, no, seriously, like that's the problem. That's the problem. Like when you stop, because we can go forever. But I hope you guys enjoyed what I have. I know we've been planning some other videos if this works out.
Right.
Something a little bit more interesting too.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'll
stay tuned. Give Philip those likes, because what he promised me sounds like a really good video, and like I'm low key, I'm interested in what he has in mind. So thumbs up, please.
So we'll see what happens with that. However, for today, I just want to thank my friend, my close friend, my brother, Abodd Wardak over here.
Of course, dude.
For being a special guest.
Of course. And shout out to Blue Chew.
Our sponsor for today. Look in the description down below.
Pretty soon. But no, dude, yeah, thank you for having me. Thank you for setting this up. I wish you guys could see what he did. It's a really nice little setup. Dude, I hope you go far with this. I hope it works for the best.
For sure. Thank you again, my friend.
Of course, dude. We're doing that again.
Thank you, my friend.
Of course, dude. There we go.
All right. For sure.